Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? Okay, oh shoot, where am I? There I am. Hey, how you going? Hey Alex, how you going? I hope I'm feeling better. Yeah, a little bit. I'm feeling a bit better today. So hopefully this lasts, I'm hoping. Damn it, Mandy. Hey, Hev, I'm just coming early to say I'll be late. No wuckers, damn it, Mandy. Oh, sorry. In Australia, okay, you can say no wuckin' furries, right? You know what that means, don't you? Right? And for short, it's no wuckers, mate. Sorry about that. Still swearing from yesterday. Okay, who else have we got? We got Deb, out to lunch. LB, how you going? Randy, how you going? MRH, how you going? Deb J, how you going? Kai. Raven, how you going? Dell, how you going? Kai, you made it? You were 8th this time, I think, were you? Yeah, a late 8th. Oh, how you going, eyes? Oh, my hair looks good. I just kind of threw it up and did what I could today. I'm not feeling it. So, hey, George, how you going? Yeah, I do think that I was getting the flu. Maybe that's what the headache was about all week. I've been fighting it with vitamin C, and maybe I've just been putting it off. I don't know. But anyway, okay, I've got to get to the bookmarks and the news. Where is the news? I don't know where the news is. I keep looking and I'm finding bits, but like either nothing's happening or I'm not getting everything on Twitter. And this morning I couldn't even access Twitter, or X, sorry. So it took me ages to try and find some stuff to talk about. But here we go. We'll have a go. Wall Street Ape said insane the government contract awarded to clean up the fire debris after the Lahaina, remember the Maui fires, went to a company that was paid more than the cost to rebuild each home. Almost $1.5 million per lot just to clean up. It's the same company doing the LA fire cleanup. What are the odds? This one's going to blow your mind. The US Army Corps of Engineers paid $396 million to ECC, the same company who's doing the LA fire cleanup, to clear 268 lots. That's almost $1.5 million per lot, which is not only enough to clear the lots of the fire debris, but it's enough to rebuild the homes. How can this not be corruption? Oh my goodness, this is insane. Okay, we'll have a listen to what he's got to say.
All right, so if you thought that my last post about the FEMA-funded tiny homes was bad, this one is going to blow your mind. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers paid $396 million to ECC, the same company who's doing the LA fire cleanup, to clear 268 lots. That's almost $1.5 million per lot, which is not only enough to clear the lots of their fire debris, but it's enough to rebuild the homes.
Stu tip $3.
How can this not be?
Yay, today's lurking fee.
Yesterday's lurking fee. Oh, God love you, Stu. Thank you so much, you legend.
Corruption. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you think this is...
Okay, we were at the end anyway, so there you go. That is insane. You can see how deep the corruption runs, can't you? And it won't be it will be the same in every country. It won't be any different in Australia or the UK or Canada. It's all the same. It's a big club and we aren't in it. Jill Marinelli said, my ancestors were stolen from England and brought here to Australia as convicts. Where's my $85,000? Stolen generation survivors to receive $85,000 payments, which I did report on yesterday, but like I'm looking now at different points of view on this. And yeah, the convicts who came over here were stolen from England, Ireland and Wales and Scotland probably. And sent over here. Taken away from their families completely. In another country. Not in the same country at all. Okay, Wall Street Ape said 4 companies control almost the entire US crop seed market. 2 companies, Bayer, which is a chemical company, and Corteva, I don't know who they are, alone account for over half of corn seeds sold. America Farmer shows this one box of corn seed cost me $17,000. This is what happens when farming is monopolised by mega corporations. Wow.
This one box of corn seed right here cost me $17,000. The good news is this one single seed right here only cost me about 0.4 of 1 penny. There's 4 million of them in every single one of these boxes. Divided by roughly 34,000 seeds per acre, each one of these boxes does about 118 acres, which means that specific seed comes out to about $144 per acre. Now there are different types of seed, different companies, different traits, different hybrids, all kinds of calculations that go into that. That specific seed that I showed you, that one box is our most expensive seed this year anyway. These boxes over here, these soybean boxes, those are a different story. We'll get to that later. Most likely this information is not necessarily relevant to you. I just thought some people might enjoy learning that. This one box...
That's very interesting. That's a lot of money. And, Bayer I know is a chemical company. I don't know what Corteva is. I could find out. Let's have a look. Oh, and by the way, if you have a DMSO, don't do anything till next live with Timmy, because even if you get this stuff on your skin, right, you have to actually, this stuff, right? If you get that on your skin, you want to make sure you've scrubbed everything off your hands, okay? Because it takes everything that's on your skin into your skin. Yeah, anyway, let's go back to this. Corteva Foods Security ANZ is working our rural and urban communities to help alleviate food insecurity. Well, we've got one here in Australia. It's a major American agriculture, chemical and seed company. That was the agricultural unit of Dow DuPont. Okay, that's all you need to tell me, DuPont. Did you hear about the DuPont relative that went insane and killed people? Look that one up. Interesting. Anyway, I don't need to know any more about that. Senator Matt Canavan said no one wants massive 280-metre wind turbines in their backyard. 88% of locals oppose the Moonlight Range project. Major energy projects should not be approved unless they get support from local people. More in the Courier Mail today. Windmills won't turn without local support. Yeah, exactly. Don't support them. They're not gonna keep up anyway. Lozzie B said repeat child sex offender raped and tried to murder a 5-year-old girl after previously assaulting a teen under 16 and a woman in her 70s. What is wrong with people? This man is a serial offender, has been diagnosed with schizophrenia, antisocial personality disorder and has an IQ under 60. What could possibly go wrong? I support bringing back capital punishment for people like this. Here. He's granted release. Like the machete-wielding maniacs running around Melbourne, right? You've got our judges, which are as bad as any other judge in any other country, but they're going to release people like this. This is insane. I've got to just keep telling myself we're watching a movie because otherwise I'd probably crack. Rational Aussie said I had a serious think and decided the government could get absolutely forked. Have a serious think. Health Minister's warning over new coronavirus variant. Here we go. They're going to try and push it everywhere. If you fell for it last time, don't do it this time. Please. 5 years ago, we had the biggest world IQ test ever, unfortunately. And I was trying to warn people. I tried, but I got deleted for it. Valerie said my response to the furious experts is... Daily Mail Australia said we've dropped the ball. Breaking news. Health expert furious as Aussies avoid getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Devastating to them and their pocket. You know, that's what it was all about. Alex James said, how about instead of investigating soldiers that fought in Afghanistan, we investigate the politicians that sent them there? Great idea. I'm all for that too. Okay, here we go. Get into Trump here. Betty Johnson said another instant Trump classic, Odysee. This week there was a video on board a plane that showed the First Lady of France slapping her husband, Emmanuel Macron. Do you have any world... I'm going to let him say it, actually.
This week there was a video on board a plane that showed the First Lady of France slapping her husband, Emmanuel Macron. Do you have any world leader to world leader marital advice for the Macrons?
Make sure the door remains closed.
This week there was a video on...
God love him. Make sure the door remains closed so no one else can see it. Okay, here in Australia, Bro said you've got to be prepared for blackouts, especially with what our government is doing to our energy supply. Best investment for your home, worth every penny. A generator. Yep, a diesel generator. 3-phase, 3 single-phase air-cooled, TX5, 14,000D, gen power, 50 hertz. I think we're going to need them. I think our power's going to go out more. My power went out for 6 hours last week. And yeah, that was quite interesting. I had my little granddaughter with me. And yeah, it was fun. But hey, she could talk my ears off, so like that keeps me occupied for ages. Topher Field said, worrying, wreaking havoc. It's like they think we don't remember the last one. And the one before that. And the one before that. You know, remember the Zika and what was the other one? Oh, there's a few of them. Here comes a new COVID strain wreaking havoc in China, now in Victoria. They can go jump. God Save Great Britain said Muslims in the UK are calling for a ban of people eating in public during Ramadan daylight hours. They argue that seeing people eating food increases their temptation. What's your message to them? Hey, English people, get a few tables, right? A couple of barbecues and go out and start barbecuing in the street. Take salads, take rolls, take whatever you want. And go and start barbecuing in the street. Make sure you got some bacon in there. Plenty of bacon, plenty of mince meat, plenty of onions. You know, really get that smell happening, you know. Really, really, really rub it in. That's what I think straight away. Muslims are calling for a ban of people eating in public during Ramadan daylight hours. I would get a barbecue out and start barbecuing. Am I okay? Can everyone hear me all right and everything? Alex James said, we're quickly heading down the path to communism. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Oh, yeah, we are here in Australia and the UK and Canada, New Zealand. When government starts building houses en masse, then you'll know it's here. The government will own the house and you'll be paying them rent to buy, whilst you're also paying rent to First Nations peoples, whilst every other tax and levy conceivable is increased and created, whilst every move you make is watched and scrutinised, whilst your right to free speech is slowly eroded. They'll inflate the money supply so much that whatever money you did save would be worthless. The state will own everything and you'll own nothing. Is that what those $1,500 a week houses are in the middle of nowhere? I'm sure they're BlackRock. I don't think they're our government. Could be combined. Probably. Bank XRP said XRP Vegas lineup is huge. Apparently there was some sort of event in Las Vegas with XRP. All white men over 45 years old. So what? Okay. There's more on that in a minute. Juanita Broderick said, I hope someone is working on this. The crime is second only to AutoPen. Jennifer Granholm was in charge of the Department of Energy under Biden. She shoveled out what is that? 93 billion? Hang on. I think it's 93 billion in her last 76 days in office in the form of loans to green businesses that weren't vetted and didn't file a business plan. That's 3 times their annual budget gone in 76 days. More than twice what was spent for the last 15 years. This woman needs to be held accountable. Libs of TikTok said breaking 6 people, including USDA employee, busted in a $66 million food stamp fraud scheme. Arolasa Davis, a USDA employee responsible for identifying SNAP fraud, allegedly sold hundreds of EBT numbers, enabling over $36 million in fraudulent SNAP redemptions at unauthorised stores. Michael Cahoe, how do you say that? I don't know. Michael reportedly orchestrated a network that supplied the approximate 160 unauthorised EBT terminals to stores across the New York area to illegally process more than $30 million in EBT transactions. This is one of the largest food stamp frauds in US history. Holy guacamole. USDA employee and 5 others charged in multi-billion-dollar food stamp fraud and bribery scheme. Perry Carbone, attorney for the United States, acting under authority conferred by 28 U.S.C. 515, and all these special agents and investigators and, yep, okay, we get it. People ripping off the food stamp. This is one of them. a program specialist at USDA. Another DEI hire? I don't know. I've got to ask these days. Because I just noticed she only went to Utrecht High School. I don't know how to say that. Okay, I'm just asking. Elon Musk said true. Mario Norfolk said VP Vance, the Elon era isn't over. He'll remain an advisor. I think there's also an effort by media to sort of say the Elon era is over, and I think that's actually totally wrong. Now, he has obviously a day job and he's got to get back to his day job to run his companies, but the Doge effort will continue. Elon will continue to be an important advisor. Mario Norfolk said press conference, Trump with Elon tomorrow at the White House. I'm having a press conference tomorrow with Elon Musk at the Oval Office. This will be his last day, but not really, because he will always be with us helping all the way. Elon's terrific. See you tomorrow at the White House. Because that was the date that it was meant to stop. Doge was meant to finish on that day. But it's not finished yet. Betty Johnson said breaking the Supreme Court has ruled to allow President Trump to proceed with revoking legal status for the 500,000 criminal aliens flown into the US under Biden policies. Okay, so it's up and down and up and down. Like one court rules he can't, Supreme Court has ruled he can, so other courts have no jurisdiction. Hopefully that's the end of it. Who's Sandy Yang? Small man thinking Chris Bowen, who's only 4'9", attempted to suppress this story from being published. The tiny energy minister is fearful that this will affect his renewables investment. Not financially viable. Australia's first commercial wind farm set to be decommissioned. The energy company behind Australia's first commercial wind farm has announced it's not financially viable to continue operating, even with all the subsidies we're throwing at it through our electricity bills and the rising prices in everything. Because you know the reason that, like, even the supermarket prices are going up is because of the price of their electricity now as well. And the people who make it. And it just keeps going and going. Libs of TikTok said treason alert, anti-Trump DOD IT specialist Nathan Lutz, can't say it, busted for allegedly trying to leak top secret info to a foreign government. He was caught by the FBI after emailing classified docs and asking for citizenship because he hates the current administration. Bye-bye, traitor. Wow. He was arrested for attempting to transmit national defence information to an officer or agent of a foreign government. That's sedition? Is it? Is that sedition? Hang on. Treason? Is it? Full-on treason? Okay. A lot of people are saying treason. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Someone's in trouble. Wouldn't like to be you. Okay, Patriot Lady said, now we know why the Biden admin didn't hold a cabinet meeting for 11 months, and when they did, Jill Biden was in charge. What is an even bigger story is the mainstream media let the Bidens get away with it without the first question as to why. I can only imagine the days and days of outrage if Melania Trump was in charge of a cabinet meeting. Can you imagine it? Insane. Listen to this.
So we're grateful that Jill is here today. Heard that clapping. It wasn't for me when we came in. Here across previous administration, First Ladies have attended these meetings for specific reasons. This is the first time Jill has joined us, and it goes to show how important the issue is, which she's about to speak to both of us. Today, at the top of our meeting, Jill's going to give an update on the House initiative, White House initiative, to fundamentally change the approach and the fund, how we approach and fund women's health services. So I'd like to turn it over to Jill and for any comments she has, and it's all yours, kid.
Thank you. You know, sometimes the White House surprises you?
So we're
Oh, God, a bunch of virtue signalling bullshit. That's, yeah. People are in trouble. Just wait. I know people haven't been held accountable yet. Just hang in there. Dotting every I and crossing every T. Nick Sautor said Carolyn Levitt just called out Jill Biden for lying about Joe Biden's mental capacity. She still thinks the American public is so stupid that they will believe her. She needs to answer for it. Drag Jill in front of Congress and make her testify under oath. Let's have a listen to this.
They were just on The View last week. She was saying everything is fine. She's still lying to the American people. She still thinks the American public are so stupid that they're going to believe her lies. And frankly, it's insulting, and she needs to answer for it. Ouija. Thank you, Caroline. They were just on The View.
Well, there you go. Chicago One Ray said James Comer is subpoenaing Hunter and Jill. They were people running the government that were unelected. There was a shadow government at the Oval Office. The auto pen pardons were for sale. Joe Biden was never in charge of anything. Biden Gate is way bigger than Watergate. This is treason. There you go. Subpoenas are about to fly, apparently.
The FBI is opening up an investigation into the cover-ups of the White House cocaine, the DNC pipe bomb, and the Supreme Court abortion leaks. The last 4 years, one big cover-up. Comer told us the other night that he's already subpoenaed Biden aides to come in for depositions. And he'll be issuing subpoenas to Hunter and Dr. Jill, too. Sometimes when you confess to a crime, you feel better. A big weight is taken off your shoulders. Liberal philosopher Sam Harris said, "I'd destroy democracy to beat Trump."
Even that is preferable to me and to, I think, many Democrats than having someone who we consider to be genuinely evil, genuinely 100% purposed to serving himself in the office of the presidency. I would rather have a president in a coma where the duties of the presidency are executed by a committee of just normal people.
So the conspiracy that Biden wasn't running the country wasn't a conspiracy. It was their strategy. It's all coming out. Democrats wanted a brain-dead president with a shadow government and campaigned on saving democracy. If Joe had somehow won, unknown Biden handlers would have run the country. They would have controlled the Situation Room while Biden was taking a nap. Unnamed Biden aides say this: Biden just had to win, and then he could disappear for 4 years. He'd only have to show proof of life every once in a while. His aides could pick up the slack. And they just told you Trump was Hitler to justify beating him by any means necessary. That means lying to you, arresting him, maybe even shooting him. Because if they covered up Biden, why wouldn't they cover up Butler? This was a shady crew.
But these aides were not even Senate-confirmed aides. These are White House aides. These were unelected people. And one of the things that really, I think, comes out in our reporting here is that if you believe, and I think a lot of these people do sincerely believe, that Donald Trump was and is an existential threat to democracy, you can rationalize anything, including sometimes doing undemocratic things, which I think is what this person is talking about.
Holy guacamole, there you go. Okay, back to XRP for a minute. Ex-finance bulls said they laughed when I said XRP would lead the new financial era. Now a NASDAQ-listed company just raised $121 million to stack it. Backed by a Saudi prince, led by Ripple, OG, Vivo Power isn't guessing, they know what's coming. XRP isn't just part of the future, it's the system. So anyone who's got it, well done. Anyone who hasn't got it, get it. And this is not financial advice, and everyone mentioned here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And this is all theory until proven fact, okay? Sorry, I can't remember to do it at the beginning. I've got it right in front of me and I still can't remember to do it. Ripple said here comes more good XRP news. Chad Steingraber said Cross Riverbank Ripple will be used for X payments. Nets Box? Is that how you say that? Nyets. Okay. Ripple is the new Wall Street. XRP will power it. Interesting. Edio Farina said, here's what awaits for XRP. The SEC lawsuit is officially over. Legal clarity in the US while most cryptos are still in limbo. BTC maxis are starting to FOMO in, fear of missing out, set to replace SWIFT as the global payment standard. Another one. Help governments build their CBDCs. Oh, God, no. Reserve currency. We don't want governments building CBDCs. Thank you. Or maybe we do, not worldwide ones. I don't know. I have to wait and see what this involves here. Okay. Polybard said, for all the vitriol being dished out to Magda Spanski, who's just recently been diagnosed with some rare cancer after pushing the 2020 thing. For all the vitriol being dished out to Magda Spanski, recently I'm yet to see a single person say she doesn't deserve health care, unlike this see you in the NT. And I bet Magda liked the hell out of this tweet, calm as a bitch, eh? Because back in 2021, Bob Carr, one of our politicians, said, follow Singapore and legislate no medical or hospital expenses to be reimbursed to people who are not vaccinated without medical justification, and then contract COVID. You ignored warnings and got the disease. You pay for your willful stupidity, not the rest of us. Well, people were calling for us who didn't get it to not get any hospital treatment whatsoever, to not even be allowed to go to a doctor. And Magda Spanski was on the train. The jab train. Senator Babbitt said he did a phenomenal job. Best takeaway from Elon Musk's time in government, just how vicious and corrupt the system and the people defending it really are. All he did was demand efficiency and accountability, and the media and the left lost their minds. They didn't go after him because he was wrong. They went after him because he was right. They are malicious. They hate anything that threatens their grip on power and control. They are useful idiots and puppets for the globalists. Elon Musk said, as my scheduled time as special government employee comes to an end, I'd like to thank President real Donald Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. The Doge mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government. Well done. Yeah. I was going to say something else about 2020. Oh, yeah. They didn't go after him because he was wrong. They went after him because he was right. That's why they deleted channels off YouTube. Australian Patriot said, Julie, back then it was, there was a big group of people who got deleted. Well, two lots, actually, and they were all patriots. Australian Patriot said Julian Mann Grant was born in the US and now the Trump administration might lock her out for restricting free speech. Can we send her somewhere else, like China? Sounds good. There's no free speech over there. She can go there. Australia's US-born censorship czar could be banned from her homeland. Does she have family over there? Oh, how sad. Oh, dear. You got to laugh because, seriously, they're getting their comeuppance. Ah. Doge designer said, in the coming days, legacy media will try to convince you that President Trump and Elon Musk are no longer friends, and that's why Musk left. What they won't tell you is that Elon was a special government employee limited to 130 days of service, and that term ends today. And I did see someone in the comments, I think it was Alex, saying about Elon Musk has a black eye. I'll have to look that one up. For some reason, I wasn't able to bookmark it this morning. I saw it, but I couldn't bookmark it. Todd Starnes said the FBI is complaining because of all the copycat 8647 threats being made against President Trump. Well, that's because James Comey was not arrested in a pre-dawn, guns-drawn raid. He wasn't paraded in front of the television cameras in handcuffs, and as a result, every anti-Trump lunatic in the country now feels emboldened. Good grief, FBI. What are you thinking? That's all it takes. Start parading them around after arresting them. And get the media at their homes to see it all. So pre-arrange it with the media first, right? Like they did with Trump. Pre-arrange it for the media to be there. Okay, Lauren Lee said RFK Jr. isn't just cancelling Moderna's bird flu contract, he's going after the mRNA itself. How do I know? Because HHS just put out a statement and accidentally gave the whole game away. This week, the Biden-era plan to develop a $700 million mRNA bird flu vaccine was quietly scrapped. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I've got no idea what's going on. YouTube, okay? The contract awarded to Moderna is now dead. Why? As reported by NPR, continued investment in Moderna's H5N1 mRNA vaccine was not scientifically... I think I might read this on Rumble. It wasn't justifiable. Why? So the Department of Health and Human Services, see, YouTube runs more off the WHO, so until that absolutely collapses, I'm going to add this to a folder and read it on Rumble. Oh, my stomach's going nuts again. Kevin Sorbo said, now we have video of Epstein in his cell when he died. I remember hearing the cameras malfunctioned. Yeah, what's going on? Apparently they're going to release the video. Okay? Apparently. I don't know. Allegedly. Yeah, we'll see. Don't hold your breath, okay? Just, you'll die before it happens if you hold your breath. McAmius said this is not deeply unpopular at all. Australians want their own 2A. We do. Second Amendment. John Ruddick, MLC, said I got the ball rolling on the amendment to the New South Wales Constitution that would guarantee the right to own a firearm. I accept this is deeply unpopular in Australia. Check out my colleague's reaction in the background. Oh, that's half of Australians, or nearly more than half of Australians. Because you just ring the police. The police will help you. You know, seconds count when the police are like hours away, not minutes, hours. Because that's what happens. Because half of these people who think that you can rely on the police have never had to call the police before, right? In an emergency, when someone's trying to break into your home, I did, and they sent a police. They sent the police from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 suburbs away when there was a closer police station 10 minutes away. Okay? I had someone trying to break into my home. It was an ex. I called the police. 30 minutes later. Anyway. Yeah, it's deeply unpopular in Australia wanting a firearm. Even though now, like Port Arthur was the reason we gave up our guns in Australia. Okay, it was the Port Arthur incident. It was a massacre. That's questionable, okay? Not only that, since then, there are more firearms on Australian streets than there was before that. Both legal and illegal. And the criminals aren't going to listen. So I prefer to own one, thank you very much. I accept this is deeply unpopular in Australia. Check out my colleague's reaction in the background. But that's because few Aussies have heard the philosophical case as to why it's dangerous to let the state have monopoly on power. Please keep an eye out for my speech outlining why Australia's long-term future is better served by the people having a counterweight to unlimited state power. He's talking about the power, right? I'm just talking about defending yourself in your own home. Castle law. Yeah, Australians are so soft. That's why we're copping it hard right now, because Australians won't wake up. They're too soft. They think the government's going to help them. They think they can just ring the police and they'll be there to help. I hope you don't have to find out the hard way that that's not true. I really, really hope you don't.
Mr President, I give notice that on the next sitting day I will move that leave be given to bring in a bill for an act to amend the Constitution Act of 1902 to establish a right to possess and carry firearms and for related matters. Constitution Amendment Right to Possess and Carry Firearms Bill.
Thank you.
Mr President, I give notice that on the next sitting day I will move that leave be given to
Now,
bring in a bill for an act to...
Look at the people around him. That's what I want to see. Laughing, are you, mate? You wouldn't be laughing for long if it happened. It's not a funny situation. It's very, very serious, and Australians have no idea what it's like unless you've had to ring the police for any emergency. Cat Turd said, FYI, if you have a high-powered government position and you're a 4 and a 10 wants to go have drinks with you and talk about your job, it's Project Veritas. Hello? Yeah, because they caught David Hogg now. Can't remember what he said. I'll find out in a minute. I'll look it up. Because now Twitter's working for me while I'm here. Craig Kelly said, if you want to wreck a nation to destroy its fabric and turn it into a socialist authoritarian state, you would seek to destroy housing affordability for the middle class. You would aim to turn moderately affordable housing into housing that is unaffordable. You would strive to make housing so unaffordable that an entire generation would give up on the dream of home ownership because this would change the structure of society. As Menzies said in his Forgotten People speech, the home is the foundation of sanity and sobriety. Sobriety, I had it in the first place. It is the indispensable condition of continuity. Its health determines the health of a society as a whole. Your advanced socialist may rave against private property even while he acquires it. But one of the best instincts in us is that which induces us to have one little piece of earth with a house and a garden which is ours, to which we can withdraw, in which we can be among our friends, into which no stranger may come against our will. If you consider it, you will see that if, as in the old saying, the Englishman's home is his castle, it is this very fact that leads to the conclusion that he who seeks to violate that law by violating the soil of England must be repelled and defeated. National patriotism, in other words, inevitably springs from the instinct to defend and preserve our own homes. When an entire generation gives up on the dream of owning some part of Australia, their patriotism and love of country diminish. Ambition is extinguished. They become more reliant on big government and more accepting of socialist and globalist agendas. How can a society continue to protect property rights if governments have destroyed the ability of the average citizen to own property, and the best they can hope for is the Marxist ideology of a society where you'll own nothing and be happy? While some may celebrate massive increases in the value of their property portfolio, thinking, I'll be right, Jack, once home ownership rates fall below 50%, expect as surely as night follows day, death taxes and unrealised capital gains taxes on property. And how would socialist central planners go about making affordable homes so unaffordable? You'd start with migration. You would dramatically increase the number of people migrating into a country, ensuring that demand for housing continually exceeds supply, pushing up prices relentlessly. You'd allow foreigners that have obtained wealth through corruption to use Australia property as a safe haven. You would rely on fierce enforcement of political correctness so that anyone arguing against increased migration rates can be vilified as racist, thereby silencing debate. Then you would lie that the problem you created could simply be fixed by increasing the supply of houses, while at the same time introducing a host of new building codes, red tape and regulations, making it harder and harder for builders to build new homes. You would use the global warming scare campaign to restrict land supply, arguing that you need 15-minute cities around public transport hubs because private car ownership causes bad weather. Once you've achieved your goal of getting home ownership rates to fall below 50%, you'll have enough voters to support the establishment of a socialist authoritarian state ruled by a globalist-loving bureaucracy. In summary, you'd be doing everything that Albanese is currently doing to Australia. Housing affordability rating, affordable 3.0 and under. The median multiple, moderately unaffordable 3.1 to 4. Seriously unaffordable, 4.1 to 5. And severely unaffordable, 5.1 and over. Okay. There's Australia compared to Canada, Ireland, New Zealand. Oh, you're not far behind New Zealand. United Kingdom and United States. We're screwed. We're screwed. The Justice Cometh said, well, now let's dive into this as Il Donaldo Trumpo, Israel Donald Trump account, Elon the Grey, Elon the White. Ah, I see what you're putting down, sir. Let's dive into it, shall we? Let's continue in the comments. Are you going to try and tell me Elon Musk is grey alien? Anyway, Il Donaldo Trumpo said, Elon the Grey leaves us. Elon the White will come back at the turn of the tide. Oh, I believe that this is a signal to the Lord of the Rings reference here. Remember Gandalf? What was he? A wizard. What was he first? A grey wizard. Yep, so Elon's a wizard. I think so, friends. Let's keep going. Let's take this with a huge grain of salt, okay? Let's take a look at this Q post. A lot of Anons don't read these posts and digest exactly what these are saying and mean. This is an excerpt from post 2998. Read the entire excerpt and digest. Now ask yourself who's been the biggest paid and largest government defence contractor in the world? Elon Musk. Did Elon create the Keystone Project for Adamar and the team to crack the deep state movements? Project Looking Glass, perhaps? Maybe let's look for more confirmations. Let's keep going. They were saying that they are using the angel fire to predict the deep state's move without being detected. If the user files, it says a key must be used to open a magic wand. Hey, didn't Trump just gave Elon a key? Hello? Did anyone see that? Trump just gave Elon a key as he was leaving. In a certain post 270, he says that ADM, RNSA, W&W and POTUS, US military, apply the keystone. Paint the picture. In post 167, they say POTUS opened the door of all doors, expand your thinking. What is the keystone? Now, this could be confirmation bias, but based off what we've just read, we can now confer that they were saying Trump gave Admiral Rogers permission to use Keystone and activate malware in order to collect data on DS. Furthermore, who uses a magic wand? A wizard. Something you should explore further. Impressive, most impressive. Signed the board. I've referenced this one a lot. On 11/4/24, the day before the election, Elon says Warlock Shield activated. Remember how smooth the election was that night? Let's keep going. Let's look at post 173. No rigging, blackmail this time. Wizards and Warlocks. Warlock Shield activated. Let's keep going. Holy cow. This is actually very interesting. If you read this. Hang on. Ignore. They're not fishing. I've been on here since 2017, mate. Thank you very much. This board. Okay, just letting you know where this is all coming from. And again at the end of the post, W&W, Wizards and Warlocks. I think Elon's part of the council they refer to. Next slide, please. Number 67, post 67. The Council of Wizards and Warlocks cannot be defeated. Has Elon been signalling he's part of the council? Let's dive into the whole Elon the White. Oh, shoot. Where is John Podesta? Where is Tony Podesta? Did one or both escape the country and was let out? Where is B.O. Barack Obama? Where was Barack Obama yesterday? What is the difference between commercial and private? RE security clearance for departure? Who is the TSA head? Which party did he contribute to? What is of particular interest when researching? How does HS interact with TSA? What updated post 9/11 protocols were put in place to prevent, stop, inbound, outbound sea level targets? What local airports are in close proximity to DC? What happened shortly after 9/11, specifically with all aircraft? Who was authorised to depart? Only one plane was authorised during this mandatory forced grounding. Who specifically authorised this? What airport did the departure take place at? Why is this relevant? How does it tie together? Podesta's plane has military escort, i.e. tag, and is being diverted, forced down. Short delay, this will be leaked. Watch the news, have faith. What fake news anchor will not be on air tonight? Why is this relevant? What was stated in the past? Where did the $18 billion from Soros go? Why? Can it be used by bad actors, escape bribes, rogue contractors, etc.? Slush fund. Did the US government seize, stop, track other slush funds that prevent or create risk to operate? Why did JK travel to SA recently? What is SA known for? Well, Saudi Arabia. Where did the biggest donations originate from? Why is this relevant? What else is relevant with Saudi Arabia? Safe harbour, port of transfer. Why was there a recent smear campaign against JK and POTUS? Why is the timing important? Who released the article? The Council of Wizards and Warlocks cannot be defeated. Nice view up here. Is Gandalf the White actually Gandalf? Midway through The Lord of the Rings, Gandalf becomes the head of the Order of Wizards and is renamed Gandalf the White. Gandalf. Here's an explanation of Gandalf the White. He becomes the head wizard in the movie. He is all-powerful after he's been struck down. Let's keep going. So in saying all this, Il Donaldo Trump is saying that Elon may be leaving for a short time, May the 30th, to return more powerful than he ever was. Interesting. Even if Il Donaldo Trumpo on X is not Trump, it was interesting because Trump just gave Elon a key. Oz Integrity said, warning, super disinformation campaign launched ahead of Albanese government's planned changes to super law. Super laws seeking to introduce tax on unrealised gains. A PSYOP has been launched. It claims the preservation age is increasing to 70, limits on withdrawal size, mandatory phase withdrawals, tighter rules on lump sum withdrawals, higher scrutiny on early releases. None of the above claims are true. There have been no changes to superannuation laws that come into effect this year that support the above claims. Importantly, preservation age remains at 60 years old. Yeah, see how long that lasts. Rob Smith said, it's all happening, punters. I've got the ball rolling in the High Court of Australia, sitting as the Court of Disputed Returns. So Rob Smith, who's been sending letters to Trump and everyone else, trying to warn them about Albanese, petitioned to challenge the validity of the election results for 2022 and 2025 Australian federal elections pursuant to Section 353 and Section 357 of the Commonwealth Electoral Act 1918. Petition to the Court of Disputed Returns to the Honourable Justices of the High Court of Australia, sitting as the Court of Disputed Returns. He's questioning the election. Good on him. Well done, mate. Oh, my God. And he got it to the High Court. Holy guacamole. Oh, well done, mate. Well done. Okay, so Retards Down Under said, very sad to hear another experimental pusher has been diagnosed with something horrible. I guess you must face the consequences of your choice now. Magda Sabansky, an Australian comedian, explains how word mandatory is not correct term. No one's being compelled. In fact, it is optional but conditional. You can choose not to get yourself the procedure, but then face consequences of how others react to your choice. Yeah, with the help of the media pushing them that way. The ethics of mandatory vaccination. Yeah, well, she's got some rare cancer now. I don't doubt it. I doubt it's rare. I reckon you're going to see a lot of people with it. Alessandro Palumbo said, the rise and fall of Australia. One of the world's richest countries in natural resources, biggest household income drop 2024. Sydney, the second most expensive city globally. From the lucky country to alarming trends. Here's a breakdown of what's happening and why. Yeah, it's you'll own nothing and be happy. And our stupid politicians. And possibly some kind of fiddled with election. Australia was dubbed the lucky country in 1964, but as a warning. Author Donald Horne criticised relying on luck. Vast resources, minimal innovation, geographic isolation from conflict. Australia lives on other people's ideas. But what happens when the luck runs out? For decades, Australia seemed to be unstoppable. survived the 2008 financial crisis relatively unscathed. $280 billion plus in annual resource exports, world's 12th largest economy. But cracks started showing around 2015. The lucky streak seemed to be ending. The housing crisis exploded. Sydney median house price $1.69 million. First quarter of 2025. Urban rents surged 15% in early 2025. Young home ownership plummeted. The Australian dream has become unattainable for an entire generation. And when you go looking at houses, you have hundreds of other people looking at them too. Despite all this, demand for housing has continued to soar. 528,000 immigrants in 2023, all-time record. Hasn't there been like millions since then? Population growing 3 times faster than housing supply, mostly immigration. GDP per capita declining. Construction can't keep up when you're importing nearly 1 million people annually. Australia's headline GDP has technically grown, but in 2023 and 2024, 80% plus of total population growth came from migration. Accounting for this, it's clear that growth came mostly from migration. The situation, no growth plus huge migration into an already overburdened system. Then came the income collapse. Australia suffered the world's largest drop in real household income in 2024, minus 1.1%. Since 2022, real income down 8%. Since 2019, up just 0.1% versus OECD's 9.3%. While exports boomed, Australians got poorer. Because politicians are pocketing it all. Core industries also collapsed under regulatory assault. Top corporations sold to foreign owners. Coal plants shuttered before renewables ready. Energy prices almost doubled since 2021. Australia's lost control over its own resources and can't manufacture anything anymore. And China's asserting its dominance. Donations flowing to politicians, Darwin port lease for 99 years, military. $46 billion investments by China since 2008. This also raises national security concerns. As early as this year, Chinese warships were confronted in Australian waters. So what's next for Australia? The dirt. Labor's latest election victory might have sealed their fate for now. Higher taxes, big spending, little reform. Productivity stagnation ignored. It looks like Australia's doubled down on declining trajectory. But here's what's unprecedented. Tax on unrealised gains in $3 million plus retirement accounts, our superannuation here in Australia, would be like your 401k in America. More and more people will get caught each year. With all these factors combined, it's highly likely we'll see a huge wealth exodus imminently. We've seen this happen elsewhere. Australia looks to be following the UK's death spiral. Stagnant productivity, increasing taxes, housing crisis. In 2024, Australia ranked in the top 5 for millionaire migration, with the UK being second for exodus. The 2025 numbers will be very interesting. It seems talent exodus is already underway. Why I Left Australia videos are trending globally. Young professionals fleeing to Dubai and Singapore. Second passport applications surging nationwide. Stories like these are becoming commonplace. Young expat forced to leave Australia after 3 weeks issues major work warning. Jordan Morris is packing his bags after struggling to find a job and learn long-term accommodation after 3 weeks in Sydney. That's because of equal opportunity employment that are giving those jobs to the new people who've come in. You know why? Because they get subsidised by the government as well for it. How do you like that one? Australians are relocating to Dubai, 0% income tax and business opportunities. Singapore, stable governance, 22% max tax rate. Portugal, EU passport pathway, tax optimisation. And Bali, digital nomad paradise, 90% cost savings. All provided high-quality lifestyles with opportunity perks. This is a live case study in national decline. Ignore foundation warnings, pursue failed policies, watch wealth flee. Australia was warned in 1964 about over-relying on luck. 60 years later, Donald Horne's prophecy is coming to life. My personal take, I know many Aussies who are dissatisfied, especially with tax matters. But the fascination with Australia is very much alive. I have yet to visit, but it's one of the countries that intrigues me the most. What's your take on Australia's trajectory? P.S. Every week I post actionable tips and guides to my Substack on how to unlock financial freedom. Okay, thanks, mate. P.P.S. I'm holding a webinar with Andre Dragosh, European Head of Research. He's into Bitcoin. Well, yeah, it's a pretty correct take, mate, on Australia. Saying you don't live in Australia, but you're right. Gunther Egerman says so-called conservatives keep suing President Trump to slow down the MAGA agenda. Leonard Leo and his Federal Society are leading the charge. They aren't conservatives, they're controlled opposition. Donald J. Trump said the US Court of International Trade incredibly ruled against the United States of America on desperately needed tariffs. But fortunately, the full 11-judge panel on the US Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit Court has just stayed the order by the Manhattan-based Court of International Trade. Where do these initial 3 judges come from? How is it possible for them to have potentially done such damage to the USA? Is it purely a hatred of Trump? What other reason could it be? I was new to Washington, and it was suggested that I use the Federalist Society as a recommending source on judges. I did so openly and freely, but then realised that they were under the thumb of a real sleazebag named Leonardo Leo, a bad person who, in his own way, probably hates America. Okay. Ozcrime News, same thing, same as they did in Canada. And this person, Ozcrime News, has been saying same as they did in Sweden, same as they did in London, same as they did here, there and everywhere. Most of the voices against Australia have been from the brainwashed Islamic tribe that have been welcomed to this country, established themselves, often engineers by background, and positioned themselves to start denigrating Australia and Australians, same as they did in the UK. Not only from government, but from Australia. Politicians who support terrorists should be removed from government. Yes, they both should. Faruqi and whatever her name is. I mentioned her yesterday. I still can't. Okay, anyway. Yeah, he's got lots of posts that just says same as they did in pick your country. Ian Miles Chong said, who would like to see Trump appoint Andrew Tate, who's a US citizen, as US ambassador to Romania? That would be funny. His diplomatic immunity would free him from all the charges against him. That would actually be quite funny. Not that I agree with him, you know, but okay. Matthew Kamanzuli said something is wrong, something is off. It feels like Australia's a dry run for something and it isn't good. We seem to be governed by talentless toddlers that make announcements that don't connect to live experience. Increasing numbers that don't translate to better outcomes, whatever the government pretends to focus on, seems to get worse and worse, as they impose one knee-jerk reaction after another. Window dressing in a store long out of stock, staffed by fat, lazy and entitled grifters, tapping cards as they wipe their pierced noses. The sign out the front was drawn by hand in the 80s by an actual artist. The prices inside for the few pieces left on the floor are way too high for anyone born in this century. Desperate shoplifters from neighbouring towns walk in with machetes, so machetes are banned. Nothing is done about the root cause. The media spruik the store, advertise, hand out flyers and throw in the steak knives as they point to the window dressing at the store emblazoned with a beautiful sign. They don't ask questions, so they don't tell lies. They just praise the management team who spent most of their time in a different suburb trying to sell the store off to whoever will buy it. The passers-by look fondly at the store. Nostalgia is a powerful thing. The store's a metaphor, by the way. Few people dare to go in for fear of the shattered memories, proof of hope lost. The toddlers in charge have emptied the safe and struggled to math. They replaced the value that once filled the joint with monopoly money and plastic cards. Free plastic bags all banned. Now you can buy them for just a few bucks more. See what they did there? They banned plastic bags, but now they charge you for them. So they're not that bad, but we're going to charge you for them. Competitors chased away, gone interstate or just about the same. The rules got too much and the productivity of the workers fell to the point of no point. So here we're forced to gaze into the window of the old shop named Australian Dream, where homes were made and dreams were ours for the living. The window display is modern, nice even, but don't go through the door, it's filled with rental stress and working poor. The middle section completely closed for renovation and no one is expecting it to reopen, as the big box foreign product is likely to come in its place. It wasn't run down by accident, the stock didn't just run down, it was stolen and sold off at the pub in another town. The toddlers in charge were corrupted, lazy and smug. They made transactions against the poor little store thinking nobody would ever notice, or not until it was too late anyway. The truth is the dream has faded, but it can be restored. We must get some grown-ups in charge, real grown-ups with smarts and courage. We can restore the Australian dream. We must. It's up to us. Tell your friends. It's time to broom out the rot in Parliament, both sides, and clean out the institutions, all of them. I just want Australia back. So do I. Now I'm depressed. Okay. Apparently breaking, former New York City Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik, dead at 69. What did he die of? Okay. Oops, I did like it. Where did it go? There you go. Here we go. See? Same as they do in Germany, he said. He's just doing I just showed this to show you what he's, you could apply it to any country. Pauline Hanson said, what a result. One Nation's made history at the 2025 election. Senator Malcolm Roberts has been re-elected in Queensland. Tyrone Whitten has been elected in Western Australia. That means we have 3 One Nation senators in Parliament, our most successful regular federal election ever. More Australians are standing with us, more voices in Parliament. More strength to fight for those who've been ignored for too long. Thank you to every Aussie who backed us. You sent a clear message and we've heard it. We'll keep fighting for secure borders, affordable living, Australian values and better future for our country. This isn't the end of the campaign, it's the beginning of a movement. Thank you to everyone who's helped One Nation secure this historic result, and get ready to keep the momentum going because we're just getting started. There you go. And that's it for today. Now, I was going to go on Elon's black eye. What else was I going to look up? Someone, who let the dogs out? Woof, 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 woof. No, I didn't get a dog. It's the one over the back. Okay, people are asking if he's in the Black Eye Club or have that vril reptilian parasite injected into his eyeball. Yeah, he looks out of it. What's going on here? His right eye is black. But he's looking out of it. Okay, what's this one now? This is a post. Elon's black eye. Real AF patriot. Trump notices everything. Showing the black eye was intentional. Should we be prepping for some kind of shutdown? No, reports of power grid attacks 6 months prep should be disregarded. While attacks do occur, we are safeguarded by a black eye. See, this board, this is where they're getting it from here, right? It finished in 2022. It started in 2017. And all of that came from here. They predicted, right? In weird ways. Additional thoughts on Elon's black eye. It's the wrong eye as we typically have seen, it's normally their left eye. The X is a little beast, so yeah, I can totally see that. My little dude once gave me a black eye roughhousing. Black Eye Club. all these people, okay, have had black eyes, okay? Something going on with the black eyes, let me tell you right now. MJ Truth Ultra. Elon Musk black eye. A, Ashley Sinclair. B, the Black Eye Club. C, Little Son punched him. Or C, something else comment. What's funny to me is that they could have easily covered it up with makeup, but did not. Elon says Little X punched him in the face. Ouch. Okay, let's have a listen.
I wanted to ask quickly, Mr. Musk, what is your eye okay? What happened to your eye? I noticed there's a bruise there.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't anywhere near France, so. But
It wasn't anywhere near France.
What does that mean?
No,
I didn't notice his
First Lady of France getting slapped.
I didn't notice.
Macron.
Yeah, no, I was just watching around with Lil X, and I said, "Go ahead, punch me in the face," and he did. Turns out, even a 5-year-old punching you in the face actually does.
That was X that did?
Yeah.
X could do it. If you knew X, he
I
could
saw his
do
mom
it.
right now. But I didn't really feel much at the time, and then
I don't know.
I guess it bruises up. But I was just watching around with the kids.
I didn't
basically.
notice it, actually.
I got one.
I wanted to ask quickly, Mr. Musk, what is your eye okay? What happened to your...
Okay, so apparently his son did it. Still noteworthy, it is, yes. Because that black eye post, like this one. While attacks do occur, we are safeguarded by a black eye. Safeguarded by Elon. I don't know. That's what I'm getting out of it. What do you guys think? It's really interesting. Sorry about that. Because, yeah, this is amazing now, actually, thinking about it and looking at it and all the people that are bringing things up. There's a lot of information here, by the way, guys. It's the 17th letter of the alphabet, anon.pub. Okay? In case you want to know. So go and look up the 17th letter of the alphabet and then put anon straight away, no spaces, and then .pub. Okay. Let's keep looking though. Okay, who's trying to say that MAGA, highest degree of Satanism? Elon asked of ICE for his black eye, now it's being deported. What? Okay, there's a lot of lefties in there trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do, but anyway. Yes, well, they can. I remember my grandson actually headbutting me in the nose and far out. It hurt. Bad. He didn't mean to. He was just, jumping around on my lap and he just head back and I'm like, oh, blind. What was the other thing I was going to look up? Oh, is Menacing Muskrat here too? I did try and ring her yesterday, but I can't get through. Someone asked me who I was. And when I said Hev, they said, sorry, who are you looking for? And when I said Menacing Muskrat, they said, no. Anyway, okay, I don't know with Elon. Now, what was the other thing I was going to look up, guys? Does anyone know what the other thing I was going to look up? Yeah, okay, anyway. Until I remember, we'll go to the comments. Hang on. Oh, no, not me on screen. Okay, while I read the comments. And Pat, how you going, Pat? George, Pat, Stu. How far back can I go? Oh, no. I can't go far back. Oh, toddlers can hit hard. Yes, they can. If they get you the right way, they can. Okay, I've got Stu. Says something about the shock on my dog's face as my stray cat ignores Max's growling and rubs herself on the glass in front of him as he protests her presence. George said, I don't pay for filthy water, Alex. Honeybee, how you going? Damn it, Mandy was in here, and there's a few good people in here too. From MRE, I mean. All my people are good. All these people in here are good. Deb said, I think her middle name is Anne too. Who are we talking about? Because I can't go any further up in the chat. Alex said that was obvious to everyone. Biden is a cabbage. He used to call him a potato. Actually, potatoes are more useful than what Biden was. Okay. Honeybee said filthy water indeed, arsenic. Honeybee said runoff fired retardant straight into the water. Oh, yeah. Sal said, sorry, all crypto's a scam too. There'll be no financial system once everything shifts. Deb said, it's all for entertainment purposes only. Deb J said, where do we get XRP? You've got I've got an Australian one, but I think it's only for Australians. You've got to look up on a search. Hang on, I'll do it. Let me have a look. I will search for buy crypto USA. Where are you? In the USA? Just search for buy crypto, wherever you are, and see what websites come up, and I can tell you. Oh, shit. Coinbase. Coinbase, if you're in the USA. I would go Coinbase. Okay, Coinbase if you're in the USA, where you can buy it and sell it and manage it. And all you do is buy it and sit on it. That's it. Okay, and you can do that like buy crypto in the UK. And it should give you, I'd go past the first few. Shit, I don't know. Coin Codex? Daily Coin? I don't know. Which ones are the bloody... Oh, that... It says 11 best in there. Hang on. Coinbase. I'd go Coinbase, guys. I wouldn't go Binance. CoinJar. Yeah, I would go Coinbase. That's not financial advice, by the way. Just what I would do. Oh, okay. So that's where you get it, Deb J. Menacing Muskrat said, Stu, I have the Rottweilers on their dog house and they are getting used to the stray cat, a.k.a. Tux. Deb said, it's fire retardant. It may be water-soluble, honeybee. Shannon said, Socks is in Zoom mode, playing fetch with hair tie band. They love them, don't they? You know what my cats love? Oh, one of them does, anyway. You know the little tea light candles? Yeah, she loves them. Bella does. George said, nice menacing. Lucky's been chasing a moth for the last hour. Deb said, yeah, suck it up, the people who took the procedure. The ones who tried to force everyone else into it, I agree, but, yeah, my family did. Alex said, bless her, like that video you sent me of that under the couch, Shannon. Yeah, the cat under the couch. I saw that. Del said, no jab and none of us got COVID. Them that got it, them that did got it. F off farmer and politician snake oils. Yeah, exactly. Deb said, yes, we were stopped see a specialist because we weren't allowed to see specialists because we didn't have one. You just had to wait it out, unfortunately, and then it all came back and we were allowed again, and it was like, Sal said, they'll never admit it though, Deb. Stu said, happy animals really do funny things. It's very rewarding to know they appreciate it. Us, it is, isn't it? Alex said, I feel sorry for the people now suffering who were tricked into taking it. Yep. I love it, Stu, said Alex. Hours of entertainment. Deb said, yes, on the radio here in Adelaide, said Trump has left. Elon's left Trump now. Yeah, but he was meant to. It was only for 130 days. So there you go. Alex said, I love it, Stu. Hours of entertainment. Sal said, Elon 2.0.2. Alex said, yes, saw the headline about Elon's black eye on a news channel while scrolling YouTube, but didn't watch it, Hev. Zal said, Jabberwocky. Stu said, Alex, they really are our fur babies. Yep. Menacing Muskrat said Elon Musk got smacked by his 5-year-old son, X. Elon said X could hit him as hard as he could, and X did. There you go. I could have just read Menacing Muskrat's post. Is Menacing Muskrat still here? Because she told me to ring her yesterday, but I can't get in contact with her. I don't know what's gone wrong, but yeah, I don't know. Gonna have to send me a message so I can ring you back. I don't know. Alex, it just made me think of the Black Eye Club. GLoff said, FYI, Elon received blackish eye from his son while roughhousing. Boys will be boys, 100%, yep. Timmy, hello, how's everyone doing this evening? How you going, Timmy? Geoloft, Stu, Zal, D. Lee, Randy, George, good to see you guys. The doctor is in the house, said D. Lee. Everyone's saying hello, Timmy. Sal said it'll be CGI Epstein, no doubt. George said, I'm more an animal person than a people person. Menacing Muskrat said, hello, Doc. What's up, Timmy? Deb J said, hello, Doc. Deb R said, yes, I've been waiting since the early 90s about a flu vax that was going to do the job. I've been concerned what group was going to be targeted. Shannon, how you going, Shannon? Tim A. late fee. You don't have to. Stu said, imagine actually calling your child X. It is a weird name. Alex said, remember when his son was saying stuff about them doing what they want or something like that, Menacing Muskrat? Everyone's saying hello to Timmy, our doctor in the house, Timmy. Shannon said, Muskie gone all Yoda on us talking backwards. Dolores, how you going? Randy said, can I come over to protect you? Yeah, if you want. Shannon said, WASP files, watch it. Yes, exactly. On Port Arthur, the incident that got Australia's guns taken away from them, watch the WASP files, okay? Search it on YouTube. The guy is brilliant. He's just laying it all out there. Dell said, 13 minutes a long time with an axe-wielding maniac at your home. What the fuck? Crossbow or nail gun with high velocity as good as a gun. Not 13, 30 minutes. 30, I waited. Someone was trying to break into my home. 30 minutes. Sal said, most Australians are soft in the head these days when it comes to suggesting their Stockholm syndrome over faith in the popular narratives of the day. George said, I'm okay, thanks. Timmy, how are you? Stu said, working night shift is a bit like jet lag sometimes, even harder with rugrats around. How's your job going, Shannon? Geoloff said, when every second counts, the authorities are many minutes away, yes. Del said, boiling water and butter or sugar all over them and a bat with a sock on the head. This is not advice, by the way, guys. I'm not giving anyone advice, okay? Neither is anyone else. We're just laughing, okay? It's a joke. YouTube. Shannon said they can't be told, they must be shown. That's what we're seeing. That's what I mean. I said before I left Facebook, I actually said Australians are going to be shown why they need to be armed. Unfortunately. Sal said, suggesting they might be wrong. Deb said, I was lucky when a woman was robbing me. The police came with lights and sirens. She was walking down the road slowly, so they got her. Yeah, well, they didn't get the guy who was trying to break into my home. I believe they heard me talking to the police. But still said I can do more damage to you and this house before the police get here. They knew. The criminals know. They know. And they came flying with lights and sirens and they pulled up like, sideways on the road and it took them 30 minutes. That was an emergency. Okay, I was living near Penrith. They sent St Mary's police out. St Mary's is like, Penrith is like 10 minutes away from where I was, right? But they sent St Mary's police out who are half an hour away. Work that out. I couldn't. Anyway. Alex said definitely lost lots of units closed. Definitely lots of units closed to move further away to make police, fire and ambulance super unit instead of having more of them dotted around to make way for more housing, Del. They've done that here. They shut down the police station in this suburb. And now they're 15 minutes away. Far out. Del said from Chopper Reed and Brendan Abbott to woke unicorn young now in 3 generations, planned treason. Definitely. George said crossbows are still legal in the UK. I would. It's not advice, by the way. Deb said, yes, I like the people reactions. Sal said, the people in power in Australia are totally contemptuous. I agree. It's... Stu said, yes, and big screwdriver's better than a bayonet in the wrong hands. I was looking, actually. I got a lot of stuff, right? I got rolling pins and I got, mate, I got so much. Alex said, yes, Shannon, some people will only see when it's too late. Del said, Alex, they even park a car in high crime area like that's a deterrent. Laugh my bum off. They need the fear to be our focus while the wheels come off and they investigate after the fact. Shannon said, there's a guy at work with F Russia, I support Ukraine stickers on his car. I don't even try to explain the truth to the sheeple anymore. Shannon, at this point, you're best off not. Don't worry about it. You'll just end up in an argument and it's, not worth it. Deb said, very happy our doctor's in the house. Timmy, can you join us on my Monday, your Sunday? Again, about the DMSO on Rumble? Because I got mine and I realised, guys, I've got so much information. That it has DMSO in it as well. That's where I got the do not put it on your skin. If you use soap on your hands, you have to make sure every bit of soap is gone from under your fingernails on your hands before you even touch that stuff. Okay? Because it will take everything. Okay, if you have nail polish on your hands, it will remove it. Okay? So just letting everyone know, don't do anything until we've spoken. Because there's a few things that you need to follow when you're using that stuff too. So, yeah, if Timmy can join us, I don't know if he's still here. George said, I have a hammer next to my bed just in case. Alex said, I've seen empty police speed cameras vans too, Del. Oh, we've got now, they're not police anymore, our camera cars. No, they're contractors. And they just park them on the side of the road for hours with a tiny little sign saying speed detection unit ahead. Remember that guy who was doing jumping jacks in front of one? I feel like every time I see one now, I feel like getting out and doing jumping jacks in front of it, in front of the camera. so they can't see anyone behind me coming. Yeah, and me getting pulled over the other day and him saying that my mobile phone is distracting to him because he could see it. I couldn't see it. It was right down beside my seatbelt, back here. I'm not looking at the phone while I'm driving over here. But anyway, I'm like, can't you even have the phone? I thought you could have the phone playing through the thing. And he said, yeah, but you can't be able to see. You know, I've got a screen right in front of me too, you know. The car has its own screen. That's distracting. Are you going to fine people for that? How about go and find the company for that one? I don't need a screen, but there's one on the car anyway. And it's good. It does have a reverse thing. I never look at it, right? A reverse camera. And I'm there going, reversing. I don't look at the camera. Old school. I don't need it. Okay. Dell said, patriotism is now a dirty word. Kids taught to hate their lands and deeds previously. Teachers to blame and curriculum set by traitors. Marxists. A lot of them. Hey, Maria, how you going? Brandy said, I have many weapons about my abode. Yeah, the problem is that you just can't have them here, you know? I mean, well, you can't. I haven't got a pew-pew or anything, but, you know, as I said yesterday, I've got, you know, and the arrowheads I got, like razor blades, I don't know, I was like, wow, okay, they sell this? So I've got a lot about if someone tries to break into my home. They're not going to go out well. It's going to be a crime scene. Shannon said, can't touch this. Stu said, if questioned about that hammer, George, just say I'm a Bob the Builder. Dell said, Alex, yes, Alex, they also have 4 cameras as people damage main one, sneaky bastard. Oh, they do they? So getting out and doing jumping jacks in front of one's not going to work. 24 and a 20, it's a freaking joke. Yep, Deb's got the music going. Shannon, she got it. Can't touch this. I better not do that too much. I'll probably crack my neck or something. Menacing Muskrat said, be right back, gotta feed the critters. Oh, that's where Menacing Muskrat went. Feeding the critters. Alex said, as long as they make money, who needs to fight the crime, eh, Dell? Dell said, preach, have all righteous truths on their agenda, poverty and division and fear on their agenda. Exactly. Hey, Sherry, how you going? Good to see you. Dell said, Alex, totally, their bellies are never full. Greed while we have less rights and money. Time for militias. Out to lunch said, C4 homes are 15-minute cities. There you go. What are C4 homes? Hang on. I'll just look it up. C4 homes. C4 architects have extensive experience in all facets of residential building design and on-site building management and construction. This has resulted in over 12 years' worth of successful resident projects with happy clients and award recognition. Oh, they like townhouses? Is that what they are? Like this? They're like townhouses. Like homes joined, all these homes joined. Because if I look up, say I look up townhouses, right, in Australia, then we get townhomes. Looks like the same sort of thing. They've been building them ones for many years. I don't like it. I don't like not having land around me. You need land around you. So go back to C4. Go to images. This one's a standalone. Yeah, they look like townhouses and units. We call These things, units. These things here, units. Yep, unit. No, I don't. There you go. As Al said, they're not far away from convincing people this thinking about housing, etc., is necessary, Hev. Oh, yeah, C4 cities, that is, out to lunch, yep. Yeah, I agree. There's one of them in Penrith where I moved in with my daughter and, God almighty. It's the worst mistake I ever made. Not moving in with my daughter, just the neighbourhood. Hear everything everyone else was doing. Alex said, real crime, they don't have any trouble investigating the hurdy word crime though, lol. Shannon said, at least Deborah's awake, lol. Alex said, I know, it's such a backwards world at the moment, Del. Sal said, a lot of Anons are wannabes or cabal infiltrators. Yeah, a lot of them are. But the people who originally followed it, like I read it. I actually read it. Even though people were doing videos on it, I still would go back and read the day's posts. George said, the police in the UK are woke Muppets, Alex. Del said, hurdy words, 3 years, noncery, you get a community penalty, sentences set by MPs. Yeah, well, anyone sentencing them or instructing judges to sentence lower for a pedo should also be locked up, including the judge. Menacing Muskrat said, yes, Trump POTUS gave Elon a key. Oh, that's what I was going to look up. Trump, hang on, I'll show you again in a minute, gives, he doesn't gov, he gives Elon key. Can I type? Okay. Moments ago, POTUS Trump presented Elon Musk, this was 6 hours ago, with a key to the White House on behalf of the American people. Key. The keystone. Key. Okay. Now he doesn't look out of it. Who was showing him looking out of it before? He's got the black eye. He doesn't look out of it. Oh, actually, I'm interested in what he has to say. Let's have a listen. Just got to check my volume, turn it down a little bit. Can't hear it. Oh, great.
This is not the end.
What are you doing now, Twitter? I'm having trouble with Twitter today.
My time as a
That's not good.
government employee necessarily had to end. It was a limited time thing. It's 100.
His lips aren't making... Right, nothing's adding up right now. I think my Twitter is failing. Yep, okay. Can we get a better one? Because that volume is horrible too.
A little special something.
Oh,
we
shit,
have
there you
here.
go.
Thank you.
A very special that I give to very special people. I have given it to some, but it goes to very special people, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you. This is a lot. The luck on this is amazing.
A large lot. A little special.
Okay. Let's go over and find out, Alex, shall we? Okay. Do you have to press enter or does it just... No, it pops up that way. Okay. 15 posts with key in it. Key, military intelligence versus FBI, CIA, NSA. No approval or congressional oversight. State secrets upheld under Supreme Court. Who is the commander-in-chief of the military? Under what article can the president impose military intelligence take over investigations for the three-letter agencies? What conditions must present itself? Why is this so very important? Who surrounds POTUS? They lost this very important power.
Timar28 tipped $10. I can join. I'm not a huge fan of it being used willy-nilly like it's a chewable Flintstone chewable vitamin. It is an easy way to receive potential liver, kidney, and nervous system damage. The issue that stands
out is purity and dosage and a few more. Yep, I've got a bit of information on it too. So it can be used in conjunction with other things to... well, we're best talking about it on Monday on Rumble, because I don't want to talk about it here. But thank you, Tim Air, you legend. Yeah, it's not to be used willy-nilly. You got to be careful with it. You just got to be careful with it. Okay. Why is this so very important? Who surrounds POTUS? They lost this very important power. The one area of government not corrupted and directly serves POTUS. Keywords, confirm, green, sky. Why were keywords added in the stringer? That's keywords. Graphic is key. Okay. Keyhole, happy hunting. Flash, DIR, start code activated, 4chan, 8chan, something, key secured. Key unlocks the door of all doors, info. Stone, the force, strength, capable of yielding power to act on info. Key plus stone equals the info. ADMR, no such agency. W&W, POTUS, US military, apply the keystone, paint the picture. It's getting interesting. Where's the key in this one? Oh, this is a big one. Will Sessions drop the hammer? 1 of 22. Memo shifts narrative. Memo reinstates Sessions' authority. RE Russia all. Memo factually demonstrates collusion at highest level. Memo factually demonstrates Hussein admin weaponised. Intel community to ensure D victory. Democrat victory. Plus insurance. Memo factually demonstrates knowingly false intel provided to Pfizer judges to obtain warrants. They never thought she would lose. Hillary. 16-year plan to destroy America. Hussein, stall rogue ops, leak C, intel military assets, cut funding to military command away from generals, launch good guy takedown, internal remove, Valerie Jarrett, sniffer, SAP sell-off, Snowden open source, Prism, key score, catastrophic to US military versus bad actors worldwide, plus clowns, no such agency, the NSA. Target weakened conservative base, IRS, MSM. Open border flood illegals, D-Win, ISIS, MS-13, fund install. Fear targeting removal, domestic assets. Blind Eye, NK, North Korea, nuke build. Class 1, 2, 3. Blind Eye, Iran, fund and supply. Blind Eye classified, 23 to 41. Stage Supreme Court, AS 187. U1, Uranium 1, fund supply Iran, North Korea, plus reduce US capacity. Kill NASA, prevent space domination, allow bad actors to take down military satellites worldwide, secure communications, install WMDs, risk of EMP, space origin, helpless. Class 1 to 99, HRC, World War III, death and weapons, real, war, fake, and controlled. Population, see? Population growth, control, pocket billions. Eliminate final rogue ops within government military. Kill economy, starve, need, enslave, open borders. Revised constitution, ban sale of firearms, Second Amendment removal. Install on team Supreme Court judges, legal wins across spectrum of challenges. AS, Adam Schiff, 187. Removal of electoral college, pop voter, easier, manipulation, illegal votes, Soros machines, limit, remove funding of military, closure of US military installations worldwide, Germany first. This is what they had planned. Destruction of opposing MSM, other news outlets censoring, class 1 to 59. Pure evil. Narrative intercept, 4 a.m. Sessions, Nunes, Russian ops. Republican distortion of facts to remove Mueller POTUS free pass. Shut down primary reasons, distract, weaken military assets, include illegal votes, black voters abandoning, keep them starved, keep them blind, keep them stupid. Hillary Rodham Clinton, March 13 to 2013 intercept, Great Awakening, fight, fight, fight. Where's the key in this one? Think X key score. Key score. What? Think X key score. Making even more sense. Twitter was turned to X. Gmail drafts. Google safeguard highest level access 3. Google server routing, non-US based. Sample. Wet work. Human trafficking. Sharing of ICE border patrol. See Intel schedules. To safeguard. Exit entrance. Sharing of FBI. See Intel to safeguard private ops. Sharing of DOJ where we stand investigations and guide to overcome, dismiss, win. Transfer of money instructions to left-leaning orgs, DOJ. Settlements, off-book meetings, play dates, stand-down orders, non-action orders, Muslim Brotherhood. Cross-coordinator with UK assets. OPRO in SIS UK. Signals Intelligence Service UKP. Coordinated with foreign actors for payment money disperse. Coordinated with aid orgs, aid orgs like USAID, for illegal plans. Ham radio instructions if remote 5. Why did Eric Schmidt or Edward Snowden, I don't know which one it is, make public NSA, Eric Schmidt make public NSA classified tools? Think X key score plus PRISM specifically. Was such tech kept from elected officials? Was such tech kept from elected directors? Why was NSA created? No such agency. Think Signet. What advances exist to big tech? Other ABC off-on agencies, elected officials, CEOs, foreign adversaries, etc. If such information is learned, what price are you, the public, willing to pay? Did you ever play hide and seek? And this one's keyword. You are the news now. Under protection, threat is real. Key to DNC, source, hack 187. Under protection, threat is real. The key to DNC, source, hack 187. It's getting interesting. This one's key sentence, Nadler. This one's just where we go on, we go all, the key status. Keywords are fun for the whole family. They farmed the investigation out because it's too much for Durham and he didn't want to be distracted, one of the sources told Fox News. This was Durham moving full throttle on Russia probe review with top federal prosecutors involved. Sources. Keyword. Okay, it sounds like the ones that we've read are the most important ones. Like Keystone and stuff like that. That's very interesting. Okay, Dell said, Alex, up is down, down is up, and agree it's a sick joke and the rate of change so rapid. Stu said, when I lose my car keys, as sometimes do, I pull out a screwdriver, add a shifter on its handle and twist, great master key. You can't do that when you don't have a key thing anymore. You've got a button. And what the fuck is a button for a handbrake, man? Seriously? I like pulling the handbrake up. I can feel the handbrake. I can feel when my handbrake's going by being able to pull up the handbrake. How do you do it when it's a button? How do you know when your handbrake's going? Wait for it to roll down onto the street? Down your driveway? I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't trust a button handbrake, but I've got one. Sal said, of course, Australian politicians are exempt from the new incoming taxes. Yes, they've exempted themselves. Alex said, I know, I dread to think how much public money was spent painting the squad cars in rainbow colours, George. Deb said, Dungeons and Dragons. Del said, 2012 Agenda 21 was right. The label conspiracy theory dead now as it all came true. George said, a waste of public money, Alex. Shannon said, who cooks in... I'm not going to read that out. Shannon. Menacing Muskrat said, however, also the 17 boards said that DS gave messages through the game boards. Yes, they did. Yep. Through the Sony PlayStations, Xboxes and all that. They used games to send messages back and forth to each other. Okay. I feel like I've got something in my teeth. Sorry, guys. Don't mind me. Oops, wrong packet. Alex said, yes, plenty of money to throw down the drain, but not enough to convict murderers and rapists. Mm-hmm. Stu said, goes to show too many cooks spoil the broth. What are you talking about? Shannon's post? Deb said, eat a man... what? I'm not reading that one out either, Deb. Oh, mate. Del said, Elon the white supremacist? No. Zal said, go Doge. George said, yeah, I know, Alex, the UK is a joke under Gaylord Starmer. Stu said, I've actually seen a bottle shop drop... I'm not reading any of them out, guys. Alex said, I think his time will be short, but then I dread to think who would replace him. We don't want Khan or someone like him either, George. Need a complete replacement of the corporate government. Deb said, I still have not found anyone that wanted Albo in. Stu said, I'm just grateful for Malcolm Roberts was re-elected for another 6 years. Yeah, good on Queensland. Sal said, hey, Magda, that actress that pushed the procedures a few years ago, what goes around comes around. Menacing Muskrat said, turbo cancers are on the rise here in Canada, stand crazy. George said, we need a government who puts us British first, Alex. Zal said, prescription only. Dealey said, here too, Muskrat. Shannon said, just laying down some traps for Hev to read. I know. That's why I'm not reading them. Deb said, yes, you wonder how many she got. And Sharon, yeah. Yeah, she was in Kath and Kim, that lady. The Australian version of Kath and Kim, the original version. Which you can find bits of on YouTube, and it's very funny. So, she was like a comedian actress type, you know. Paranormal Oz is laughing at Shannon. Stu said the real story of Crocodile Dundee was interesting. He got into growing weed and speed and ended up having a shootout with the cops, blaming the Masons for it. Del said invaded by not nice people, that's a fact. Menacing Muskrat said, so sad, I tried to warn, but family didn't listen. Yeah, me too. Zal said Labor's false economy. Deb said, oh my God, yes, Shannon, we have missed you in chat. Del said, like UK, we export arms and weed and misery. Manufacturing destroyed 19 million jobs in 3 decades. Paranormal Oz said, well, I for one agree with the new proposed legislation. So happens just ordered and paid for 500 feet per second metal CO2 BB pew that will fire 22 metal pellets as quickly as you pull. Oh, good. Deb said, we've managed to get Hev to say some funny things. Yep, you have. But I'm pre-reading them now. Okay? Paranormal Oz said, thanks to my friend in Germany. Stu said, I want one, Oz. Paranormal Oz said, where are you based, Stu? Shannon said, they might leave a bad taste in Hev's mouth. They're not leaving any taste in my mouth. I'm not like that. Alex said, is that like a pension superannuation? I reckon that'll be scrapped soon. I never trusted the pension scheme and I'm gutted I ever paid into it. I'll probably never be able to cash in. Yeah, that's what it is. Fund your own retirement. Del said, box ticking, get the job, not through skill set, just demograph, sick, not equality, is it? Stu said, yeah, a couple of bases I call home base now. Sal said, you can't tell most people they have. They're NPCs asleep at the wheel. Yeah, they are. Non-participating characters like you see in the backgrounds of video games. You know, the people that's just wandering around doing nothing in the background. You know, the people that aren't really in the game but like a part of it, you know. Yeah, Shannon needs to come with a warning. Alex said, I think the biggest weed grower in UK is Theresa May's husband. For anyone outside UK, Theresa May used to be our Prime Minister. George said, take away pensions from working people while they get big pensions. Exactly. Paranormal Oz said, I'm in Sydney, but email me and we can chat. Paranormal Oz, I might have to email you. Sal said, that embedded cabal stooges are at every level of our society. Shannon said, Pollies get paid tax-free for the rest of their lives. Yes. Stu said, awesome, I'm in Melbourne. How can I get your email? Alex said, yes, a government will never put us first until it's completely scrapped and replaced by regular people like us. A lot of them are born with a silver spoon in their mouths, George. Yes, they are. Deb said, so all the people that went to Canberra to protest all bloody quiet now. Paranormal Oz said, did you get it? Alex said, same here in the UK with the turbo stuff. Menacing Muskrat, yep. Deb said, maybe through Hev, email. It's great being able to catch up with our chat. Sorry, my nose is running now. Oh, goodness. Don't do that to me. Okay. Dealey said, Alex, it's not just people young and old, but also dogs dying of cancer. Yeah, that's why I keep telling you, don't... None of that for your dog. Animal. No, they don't need it, man. They're doing the same thing to dogs and our animals as they're doing to us. Sal said they do good at virtue signalling in Australia is the problem. Oh, okay. Cool. Hang on one sec. Let me write something down there. Oh, shoot. And got it. Okay. Hang on. Oh, now I've got it. Okay. Okay, George said, Liz Truss got a pension for life for being Prime Minister for a few months. Deb said, very clever, Paranormal Oz. Sal said, see, you've got to take the dog for a walk. Stu said, cool, Paranormal Oz said, thanks, Deb, it keeps deleting it. Ah, yep. Okay, Del said, land of the wallaby, yeah, hell yeah. Shannon said, starts off as a drag and then ends the same way as Al. George said, take care, Al. Deb said, I screenshotted at Paranormal Oz. Deb said, whose dog? Dealey said, Hev, did you get a dog? No, that was up the back. Alex said, I hear a dog going crazy in the background. I hope your chooks are okay, Hev. Yeah, no, it's over the back. Oh.
Timar28 tipped $20. Spend the money and Robot Man will read it for you. For example, how are all my pictures in the chat tonight?
Oh, good on you, Timmy. You're a legend, mate. Seriously. Oh, dear. Yes, spend your money and the robot man will read it out for you. Yeah, Deb's going, who let the dogs out? Who? There are people over the back let their dog out. It hears me talk and it starts barking. Dealey said, ruff. George said, I heard a dog barking as well. Alex said, yeah, my chickens are away at the moment because I've got to go and pick up my granddaughter and don't want to let them out till I get back. Otherwise, they're roaming around the backyard. A dog could jump the fence and just take them out. Sherry said, Elon said his little boy hit him. They were playing around. Kai said, crap in a hat. I forgot my antibiotic. Got to go back into Clarksville, crooked little town. Deb said, what are you calling Ruff a dog? No, I don't think it was like, I don't know. Carl said, Elon says Elon's black eye was from his kid. Yep. Good on you, Carl. How you going, Carl? Alex said, Elon looks like he's skagging him out. Maybe his wife hits him. Shannon said, maybe Elon finally had that fight with Zuckerberg. Alex said, hey, Carl, yes, I saw that too. He said it was from his boy. Shannon said, for a lizard black eye. Yeah, that's in the left eye though, isn't it? Supposedly. Stu said, probably one of his 15 kids' mothers. Alex said, I did notice too that was the wrong eye. Maybe he inserted one of his Neuralinks. Kai said, the black eye symbolises the last strike you will ever take that goes unanswered. Deb said, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. Yep. Pat said, you do get bashed from your kids, but he does look a bit off. Deb said, yes, France, you get hit in the face. Yeah, by Macron's wife. That's what he was going at. That's what he meant about France. Stu said, we know about the Brown Eye Club too. Dealey said, I don't think toddlers could hit that hard. I didn't think toddlers could hit that hard. Oh, they can. Get a foot, an elbow, or a head, and them just running around and they can injure you. Shannon said, swimming with sharks, it's all fun and games till someone loses a torso. Yep. Okay, hang on a sec, guys. Sorry. There you go. I can hang around a bit longer. My daughter won't be home till 1 or 1:15, so yeah. Kai said they poo you and say then let that be. They what? PO you and say let that be the last strike that goes unanswered. Alex said I can talk. I have a nice scar under my eye now from my kitty cat. Stu said that's for calling me X. Kai said, I got dents in my skull. Pat said, love you, Deb. Deb said, you are beautiful, our Alex, but it's a scratch. You're great colour matching. Oh, now it jumped. Where are we? Way back. Way back. Oh. I can't go any further back. Okay. Deb said, I have an ATM that you can buy CoinSpot. Stuff Hev is talking about crypto coin you can buy. Shannon said that robot went straight into 11, Alex. Oh, hello, Lady Stardust. I only know you're in here because Deb said hello to you. Shannon said, not when they are lit, Hev. What? Not what? What did I miss? Because it jumped and I could only go back so far. Stu said, could you imagine all of us in retirement home together? That'd be funny as. Alex said, yes, it's rather Timmy G. Something has definitely happened behind the scenes. Hopefully it'll come out. Lady Stardust said, hi, family. Kai said, the robot expos are to get us accustomed to the ideas we're already seen as the main problem for Earth by AI. Deb said, so the cats will be back then, Hev, when your son moves back? I don't know if he's moving back in now. I don't know what's going on. People making up their minds. I told him the door's always open. That's all I can do. I don't know. D-Lee said that would be a riot, Stu. Yes, it would, all of us in an old people's home. George said we'd take over the retirement home, Stu. Kai said hot, yes, burning, definitely not. Deb said, I'm sorry for the trick into the jab, but no sympathy for those that pushed it. Yes, exactly. Lady Stardust said, my son-in-law, 37, can't walk, coerced to earn a living. See, they're the people I feel sorry for, is just the normal people that were coerced into it. They didn't know. And I was trying to tell them, but I got deleted for doing that. What do you do? Alex said, Kai, I have plenty of scars. Kai said, I saw an article earlier saying the jab was never safe and they knew it. Yes, that's coming out now. There's warnings on, they're putting warnings on them now. I was right, and YouTube deleted me. Class action lawsuit incoming. Kai said, saw an article earlier saying the jab was never... Oh, yep, I read that. Deb said, if you have a light beam for the cats to chase... Yeah, I've got torches. Alex said, I think Menacing Muskrat said she had to feed her animals, but hopefully we'll be back soon. George said, I was not foolish enough to get the jab. I did warn my family as well. Shannon said, boys will be boys. That's what I said about Macrons on the plane. Yes, exactly. Kai said, heading back to town for the pills. Good luck, Kai. Paranormal Oz said, sorry, been lurking on the way to work. That's cool. Deb said, chicks dig scars. And Deb said, what's up, Doc? Deb said, my son loves B. George said, Coke and rent, boys. Shannon said, I'm not reading that. Shannon. That's not what Shannon said, but that's what I said to Shannon. Deb said, my son's name's Xavier, so he's X. Oh, okay. Kai said, I'm almost completely scar tissue. By now, I must be smoking. Alex said, you should have got your cast iron pan while waiting for the police. Have right around the kiss. I didn't have it at the time. Del said, sorry, have 30 minutes is unreal. Watch Neighbours episode. Kai said, so true, roast beef lovers. Deb said, we miss you in the chat, Shannon. I'm sure some of these comments are going towards, so I'm not going to read them. Sorry, Kai. Sorry, Shannon. Sorry, anyone I miss your comments, but I can see they're rude. Deb said it's for entertainment purposes only, so is Shannon. Alex said, sometimes the best way for the police to arrive is in silence. If criminals hear the sirens and see the lights, they often run and hide. Del said, blue heelers would be disgusted. Roger Rogerson would have took 30 minutes, unless he was paid to. Deb said, I do live close to a police station. Alex said, running and hiding just shows how much of a coward they really are. Mm-hmm. Shannon said, I think bros and crossbows are now illegal in Australia. Shannon said, it's only illegal. Yeah, if the cops find it. D-Lee said, I have baseball bats through the house. Del said they overdose on reality, futile, trying to educate the sheep. Alex said, our police used to be so respected, now they turned into a laughing stock. Pat said, spear guns and drills and nail guns. I've got a drill. I could drill someone. Deb said, go have. Kai said, that's crazy, Shannon. They're going over the top with restrictions there. Stu said, Ramset. Alex said, yes, do not use DMSO unless you are completely clean. It rapidly takes whatever else you have into your system and can be very dangerous. Paranormal Oz said, did you get my email, Stu? Dilly said, what is DMSO? We'll be talking about it on my Sunday, your Monday, depending on where you are, with Timmy. It's a treatment thing, apparently. Stu said, Alex, they put it in the black salve to get it deeper. Hey, J1, how you going? Deb said, yes, please don't do anything or take anything without doctor's advice, please. Dr. Timmy, notably. J1 said, no notification. Oh, no. Stu said, I think so, Oz. I sent off a test email. Del said, boomerangs are dangerous. Shannon said, F you, autocorrect. Paranormal Oz said, haven't gotten any yet. Alex said, I wouldn't recommend using it either unless it's pure medical grade either and without proper medical direction. Mine is 99.9% pharmaceutical grade. And it solidifies at temperatures below 65.3 degrees Fahrenheit, 18.5 degrees Celsius. Is it solid? I think it is. Oh, no, it's not. No, is it? No, not yet. It's below 18 degrees here. Yeah, without proper medical direction, I wouldn't use it yet. Deb said, what about the delivery driver have a phone on stand in front of him? Yeah, I don't know, see? That's legal. So if I have, like, something playing on my phone, I'm listening to it, it's got to be sitting on the dash where I actually can be distracted by it rather than down the side of the console. Stupid laws. Just checking to make sure mine's right. Yep. Deb said it's going to be a bloodbath. Paranormal Oz said, cool, bro, I'll keep an eye out for you. J1 said, chili powder balls and a slingshot. Kai said, fart spray in water. Oh. Deb said, bath if people come into Hev's place. Oh, the bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath if anyone comes into my house. Alex said, DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, is a solvent used industrially, but it's also being looked into for using as medically as it can be used to rapidly absorb other things, Dealey. Kai said, you can empty an entire store fast. George said, got the Thing movie going on in the background. Good movie. Yeah, that is a good movie. Del said, give me land, lots of land, and starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Chop chop movie. Yes, exactly. Kai said, methyl of any kind usually absorbs water 1-to-1. Deb said, yes, Timmy the doctor is concerned. Please don't use without talking to Timmy what Alex is talking about. Yes. Pat said, rumoured they don't want to do this in Melbourne. Paranormal Oz said, I watched it the other day, Del. Great movie, hey? Deb said, solvent doesn't sound very good to me either. There is uses for it. There is. But it's not to be taken lightly or willy-nilly. You really must, like, there's a lot of things you got to do before you take, you know. Deb said, yes, I'm definitely looking forward to a watch party. Dealey said, I don't understand why anyone would want to take DMSO. Well, it does have its uses, but you've got to be very careful. Shannon said, yes, Del, Mad Max, Feral Kid taught us all we need to know on how dangerous boomerangs are. Out to lunch said, I meant C4 cities. Those are 15-minute cities over 100 Maui, San Francisco, Philadelphia, I think is 1-2. Stu said, my neighbour was a bloke that made Chopper look tame. Not that I ever seen any of that, but Chopper wrote about it all in his books. Yep, and that board did say a lot about keys in different ways, which I answered, Alex, yep. Deb said, me and most judges are pedos. Jesus is the keystone. Kai said, Deb is correct. Deb said, must have been CGI. Alex said, I did lots of research on it after the live last week and I wouldn't use it, Deb. Alex said, thank you, Alex. Kai said, look into Gnostic Christian band Gospels. Del said, 3 specials and a take care of yourself. Stu said he had an original gold-plated Winchester 30. John Wayne special I was impressed with. Man, he could drink. Alex said, I made a little video presentation about it, Deb. Well, mine is in amongst the MMS procedure. If you do the MMS protocol, which I'll explain more of in a couple of days' time, you use that along with it, okay? But yeah, it's you got to be very careful. Kai said, children grow up to be like the parents. Our parent is a god. Alex said, awesome, Timmy, yeah. Deb said, it's golden key too. Kai said, the kingdom is you. Deb said, yes, Timmy is very impressed with you. Who? Alex. Kai said, this eat sack is a cocoon at best. And Deb said, Timmy. And Kai said, meat sack. What? This meat sack is a cocoon at best. Oh, the body we're living in. Deb said, yes, on Dr. Chat. George said, I do like liver, full iron. Kai said, liver filters toxins from the body. Hideous for your health, actually. Kai said, be right back, leaving you with Tony. And Deb said, thank you, Dr. Timmy. Shannon said, Valerie Jarrett, Planet of the Apes. Oh. Stu said, glad you cleared that up, Kai. I thought you were talking about chaff bags and silkworms. Menacing Muskrat said the board started on October the 28th, 2017, but the Spear of Destiny, Cascadia, started before then. D-Lee said, hang in there, Tony. Everyone's saying hello to Tony. Shannon said, I don't see Tony. Did she block me? No, Kai just said he's going to leave us with Tony. Deb said, lovely to have you with us and chat, Tony. Paranormal Oz said, hey, Kai, sorry I missed you. Alex said, fight, fight, fight. Kai said, yes, D, trying my best. Alex said, interesting, it's sad that way before Trump got shot. Deb said, no, Shannon, she's now Kai. Had a sex change. Alex said, mentioning X2 in 2018. Kai said, paranormal, he'll be right back. Here he is. Kai said, I'm back. Paranormal said, lol, I missed you, your hello. Kai said, no changes other than hands on phone. Deb said, see how fast Kai's chair change? Shannon said, hope you wage your hands, Kai, and out the seat down. Put the seat down? Deb said, we love you, Kai and Tony. Kai said, finally getting a tooth fix after 20 or so years, broken at the root, staying drunk helped. Alex said, interesting, Hev. Zal said he's back. Paranormal said, they're called broadheads, Hev. Ah, broadheads. They're very sharp. Deb said, is there a boom played hide and seek with a boyfriend in the suit? Oh, Sarah Boone in the suitcase. Check out her letter to the judge. She's written many letters to the judge. She's the ultimate Karen, that Sarah Boone. Zal said, thanks, Alex. Kai said, I told Tony it wouldn't hurt if she kept let stay sloshed. Alex said, I'm glad I have my old school van, no bells and whistles. Alex said, I couldn't stand having a modern vehicle. Kai said, Dealey, I'm a typical man doctor at the last resort, or if unconscious. Shannon said, swing and a miss. Deb J said, I drive a 2002 truck, I don't want a new one. Stu said, I'll never forget watching my neighbour pull out a tooth with a tissue and a set of pliers. He looked at me and said, I'll get rid of that toothache. I know people who do that. They just get the pliers, do their own tooth removal. Alex, Dealey said, Alex, some new cars shut off at the stoplights. You have to start it at each stoplight. It's crazy. Yes, there's a button you can push to stop it from doing it, but you've got to push it every time you get in the car. Once you do stop it and restart it, you've got to push that button to stop it stopping at red lights and things. Yeah, Zal, they always communicate in code. That's why this board did what it did in code for us. Kai said, just shake the leg, Shannon, unless straps let go. Unless the strap lets go. Kai said, what's wrong, Hev? Deb said, Hev's now proofreading, yes. Dealey said, Kai, clove oil is what old-timers use. Deb J said, Hev has morals. Yeah, I don't want to read things about lesbians and what they're doing, you know. Thank you. No, it's all right. I don't need that. Zal said, can't fix the broke system with the same tools. Stu said, I've done the loose tooth on a string attached to the doorknob, but they were baby teeth with no roots, yep. Deb said, I bet she'll deny that it's the jab. George said, if you're swinging and missing, you need to go to Specsavers. Alex said, I know I used to hate that when I was driving a new van on deliveries. I like to be ready to go, Dealey. Kai said, Zal, I think it's just another reset, population history, everything. Alex said, no wonder it takes so long for vehicles to get through the green light with everyone waiting for their cars to start. Yes, it's crazy. Deb said, Shannon went to OPSM. Shannon said, Mike, not reading it. J1, you nearly got me. J1 said, Kai, definitely a financial reset. Stu said, sorry, Hev, when I seen that sign, I had to stop and get a selfie. Kai said, he's trying to figure out. Okay. Alex said, Hev's on the ball. Deb said, Shannon needs to come with warning. Sal said, Kai, I reckon this happened every time. The resets, however, this time it's complete end of this oppression. Kai said, Hev's actually blushed a couple of times today. Yeah, I've been reading the comments and going, oh, I'm not reading that one. No. Zal said, coffee time. Zal said, definitely is, Kai. Deb said, someone keeps drinking my coffee. Stu said, Zal, I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my waters, as Kath and Kim used to say. Zal said, our liberation is at hand. Kai said, thing is, who and how many are left when the smoke clears? George said, not many people, Kai. J1 said, the end won't be for everyone. Yep. Kai said, I know, right? Easy to program. Alex said, I think we could all feel something's been bubbling for a while now. Not long left. J1 said, singularity and the AI god, no thank you. Alex said, no, especially all the monsters, J1. Adela said, yes, Alex, can definitely feel it. Kai said, J1, that's what puzzles me. Who's it not for? Shannon said, dog drags you, then you drag the dog. Kai said, we know the bad guy's got to go, but why brace us for disappointment or whatever? And George said, Timmy. Alex said, many people have been having lots of strange dreams too, including, yeah, I have had, and I've remembered them, which is not normal. Because you know when you spoke, right? When you're the greengrocer one, you know, you don't remember them. But lately, been remembering dreams, weird ones. Stu said, yes, 100%. And if you can leave them intact, don't use the chemical flea protection either. Ivermectin, yes. Deb said, no wonder we love you, Timmy. Awesome, Timmy, said Alex. Dealey said, yep, me too, Alex. Alex said, not to mention the time speeding up, it seems to be getting faster and faster. J1 said, Kai, the delusional programmed will be part of the lost NPCs. Oh, it jumped again. How far back can I get this time? Oh, no, I'm back to where I was. Stu said, yes, on top of getting older, Alex is flying by. George said, the older you get, time flies by quicker. It does. Dealey said, yes, Alex, time's so freaking fast, I feel rushed and running out of time. Kai said, Stu, I know, right? Shannon says, who has a normal phone nowadays? We need to get normal phones. Kai said, time, speed, age, I think it's because there's more stuff to just ignore. Yeah, I've got a normal home phone, you mean? I do. Alex said, me too, it's rushing by like crazy. I don't get good reception on my mobile here. So if you try and ring me, it's like, right? But on the home phone, it's clear. Deb said, can anyone lip read? Alex said, yes, lol, Deb. Del said, no, child shrink, but as a father, I think it's very odd a 5-year-old would have the rage to mark like that. Why would he want to? Not right. Kai said, I can only lip read in English. Kai said, and only Tony's. Shannon said, last time I tried to lip read, I got too close and it spat at me. I think that was a rude one that you snuck in there now. Shannon. Paranormal Oz said you can email me anytime, Hev. Oh, good. God love you. Thank you. I will. Alex said that would be the best retirement home ever. GL Off said maybe Elon was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's Maybelline. J1 said technology is speeding up time. No one lives in the present anymore, always worrying about the future. Meanwhile, life passes by. And there was something I wanted to say on Timmy, yesterday, was it? Yeah, you were saying about minerals, and I said, yeah, I've been taking my vitamins. Well, I don't think vitamins are minerals, are they? Sorry, I got confused. Yeah, J1 said, technology is speeding up time. No one lives in the present anymore, always worried about the future. Meanwhile, life passes by. Alex said, hopefully Jay's okay and he'll move back soon, Hev. Yeah, I'm just going to, whatever, hang in as long as I can. I'm hanging all right so far. Just managing, so. Stu said, red and okay there. My left shoe looks like I love you in reading lips. Deb said, Shannon lip reading.
Timar28 tipped $20. I mentioned purity earlier. Also contamination is another concern, then you've got to dilute it and prevent contamination, e.g., you've got an initial dilution down to 50 to 70% with distilled water, followed by a second
dilution for treatment. Yep. We will definitely, thank you, Timmy, you legend. We will discuss that further on your Sunday, my Monday. And as I said, I've got a lot of information in this MMS folder on DMSO as well, because it's a thing that you would take together to further, how can I explain it? Like if you've got stuff that MMS won't cure. Yeah. It's more difficult than like just taking a tablet. It's not easy. Shannon said, not a Cuomo retirement home. They'll force the Jap. No, definitely not one of them. Shannon said, love bad lip reading channel. Oh, have you seen there's a couple. They sound black. I don't know if they are or not, but they sound black, right, in America. And they do voiceovers for animals. And it's hilarious. I love it. It's so funny, man. They're on shorts on YouTube. Shannon said, love bad lip reading channel. D-Lee said, everyone I tried to warn is seriously sick and dying and they're mad at me. They can't be mad at you, D-Lee. Deb said, even the maker of Spike is against what they're doing. Kai said, I forgot about that channel. Deb said, all lurking is welcome. Shannon said, I'm not reading that, is what Shannon said this time. Yeah, he did, actually. Paranormal Oz said, everyone's welcome to email me. Maria said, I only trust God Almighty and Yeshua by my experience with humanity, but only few left that are good, really good, most of them here. Oh, God love you. Kai said, got her. Alex said, I'm so sorry to hear about that. They shouldn't be mad at you. It's not your fault they didn't listen, D-Lee. Yeah. They're mad at themselves, but they're taking it out on you. That's what's happening. Because they can't be mad at you. George said, where's your Irish spirit, Hev, lol? I don't know. I lost it. No, I didn't. Alex said, amen, me too, Maria. Deb said, it's very hard using a frying pan without a handle. Yeah. Kai said, D-Lee, my favourite sentence is, I tried to tell you. Kai said, Deb, where's the handle? Deb said, yes, Maria and Alex, amen. D-Lee said, Alex, I think they're really mad at themselves for not... Yeah, exactly. Exactly, D-Lee. They're mad at themselves, but they're taking it out on you. Shannon said, now Hev's being rude, lol. I could drill someone. No, you know what I mean. Literally. Get the drill and... Yeah. Kai said, we got to be sneakier. Deb said, in my favourite pot, no handles either. Hey, damn it, Mandy, how you going? Good to see ya. Dee Lee said, yes, Kai, but they won't let me say, I told you so. Yeah, you can't say that. Kai said, my no-handle pot goes in a pipe. Stu said, I got an axe on the bonnet of my Army Land Rover, but it's blunt as. I tried it once on a fallen log, the thing just bounced back. Yeah, I got one of them. Paranormal Oz said, have you still got a home phone, Hev? Yes, I do. Everyone's saying hello, damn it, Mandy, and damn it, Mandy saying hello to everyone. Alex said, yes, I'm so lucky and glad that all my family and most of my friends didn't take it after I kicked off about it. Yeah, mine just still went ahead and did it. That's why I'm surprised that anyone listens to me, because my family doesn't. Stu said, try calling me with an Indian accent and ask me about my electricity bill. J1 said, the cop car has a massive screen in front of him. Should have pointed that to that too, Hev. Yeah. Damn it, Mandy said, Alex, it's been a while. I hope you're well. Dealey said, it's lonely now without any friends. Everyone here is all I have left. Oh, God love you. Dell said, their law, not mine. If law is unjust or stupid or tyranny, I ignore it. My moral compass is my conscience, which is cleaner than the elites. Geoloff said, I bet there's no law against owning a pitching machine with a vat full of baseballs aimed at the door with a motion detector. That'd require some setup there, Geoloft. Don't know if I could do it, but, you know. Or maybe just go and buy a pitching machine and shitload of baseballs and... But the aiming it at the front door with a motion detector I'd need help with, yes. What are you talking about there, Shannon? More effective in a lift. A captive audience. Damn it, man, he said, poor Hev, all bundled up. Must be really cold over there. Hope you have wood. Yes, I do. And it's freezing. And it's going to get even colder. We're like between 10 and 14 degrees Celsius. Oh, God love you.
Timar28 tipped $10. The word you're looking for is potentiation. For example, if you take a heartburn med before certain meds like opiates, it will make the opiate for effective, thus potentiating it. Some meds work better with a
buddy, let's say, lol. Good on you, Timmy. Thank you, you legend. The word I'm looking for is potentiation. For example, if you take a heartburn med... So, yeah, because it amplifies things. It helps it get in there, you know? Okay. Where was I up to? Alex said, I found all the information I could and got my dad to print out exempt cards for us so we didn't have to wear masks in shops. Alex said, I wish I was closer to you. You're never alone, Dee Lee. Stu said, sorry, sounds gayish. What? Went over my head. Kai said, Dee Lee, we love you and I know I love you like a little sis. Alex said, I know I'm not too bad. Hope you're well too, damn it, Mandy. Paranormal, I said, Geo, that's a good one. Kai said, Geo, that's an awesome idea. Kai said, about clothes high launching. About clothes high launching. Dell said, Paranormal Oz. Keithy's done himself a mischief. Eric Barner's best movie, mate, like Romper Stomper Crows. Dealey said, Alex, they didn't want anything to do with... Hang on. Me because I never wore a mask and spoke the truth, and now they don't want me because they didn't listen. That's really sad. Is someone really trying to get through to me or what? What the fork is going on out there? Sorry, guys. Just give me a sec. Oh. Oh, yeah, I can try that, Timmy. If I've got some time for a signal tele chat before the live, yes, I could do that. Oh, I'm overdue for screening as part of the National Cervical Screening Program from the Australian Government. You know what they can do. You can go and look at your own cervix, mate. Thank you very much. Leave mine alone. Okay. Yeah, I feel for you, Dealey. That's terrible. Paranormal Oz said yes. Stu said, yep, I'm burning some basil cells out of my temple at the moment with the help of some herbs and a bit of DMSO. Kai said crotch height. Oh, yeah, crotch height. Yeah, the baseballs. Alex said, oh, I love researching things and finding out everything I can about everything. Deb said, yes, it's cold here, finally. Damn it, Mandy, yeah, it is. Alex said, as hard as it is, I don't think you need people like that in your life. If that's how they were when you were supposed to be your friends, to me that's not a friend, Dealey, yeah. Del said, spear that stabbed Christ and the cross allegedly in Vatican vaults, then being infiltrated by satanic forces is a sick waltz. Sea Serpent, Vatican Chapel, yes, we've seen it. Kai said, any second another blush, I bet. George said, doing your research helps you to make the right decisions. It does. Alex said, I'm definitely going to meet up with you when I can when I next visit my auntie and uncle in St. Joe Mo, Dealey. Shannon said, broadheads are supposed to be sharp because they're razors to cause massive damage so animals bleed out quick and painless. Ah. So an intruder will bleed out quick and painless. I didn't say that, did I? Out loud? Yeah. Well, if someone, home invades me, just better watch out, mate. Dell's tipping his hat to you, Deb. Kai said, in my youth I did barroom brawl dentist visits. Dealey said, true, Alex, some of them were my family too. I'm all alone in the world except here with the Hev and Chat family. Oh, God love you. Dealey said, looking forward to seeing you, Alex. Shannon said, fine, no more jokes. I'm a Debbie Downer. Sorry, Shannon. Sorry, Deb, and Deb J too. That's just what they call people here in Australia. I don't know why. It's like a Karen. I'm sorry if your name's Karen. I feel for you. Deb said, I'm revising tooth decay. Stu said, power heads are a blast. That's a shotgun cartridge at the end of a spear gun or arrow. Illegal, of course, yeah. Funny, that. It came by mail. I ordered it. Came. I don't know. Alex said, yes, I wouldn't make any decision about anything unless I'd thoroughly researched it, George. Kai said, Hev wouldn't talk to me if I changed my handle to... I can't even read that, guy. Sofa King... I don't know. Or so faking we... Oh, okay, no, I'm not going to read that out. I think I just get it. D. Lee said, oh, come on, Shannon, you make me laugh. Yeah, you can tell jokes in the chat, I just won't read them. Okay, where am I now? I just jumped again. No, stop jumping on me. That didn't sound right either. Stop jumping on me? I mean the chat, okay? Oh, my God. I can't win. Daly said, oh, come on, Shannon. You make me laugh, yep. Deb said, it's funny when the man says it for you, Shannon. Hev is getting too clever. Alex said, oh, God bless you. I can't wait for us to meet and make some art together, Daly. Kai said, Orbudius Maximus. Deb J said, I'm out, guys. Have a good one, everyone. You too, Deb. Kai said, it's just not fair. Everyone's saying bye, Deb. Deb said, we're rumble in our Monday, Hev. I need to change physio appointment to later appointment. And Kai said, shaky hands suck. And Deb said, much love, my beautiful Deb, twin J. Twin Deb J. I said that round the wrong way. The internet's giving me dyslexia or whatever it is. Pat says she's not blushing. It's a reflection of her lovely red hair. Alex said, I still have a landline. I want to know why my hair is dark when it's curly and then it goes like this when I straighten it. It's really light. What's a go? More depth, I think, with the curly hair. Del said, I get PTSD dreams and they are violent and full of dead people and alive. Wake up in sweat, freaking out. Glasgow growing up and jail brutality done this. And Kai said, Pat. Shannon said, gotcha. Kai said, my nightmares are usually arguments that border on violence. J1 said, I rescued 3 infants from a wild storm in the surf at the beach in a dream the other night. Kai said, nice one, Shannon. Stu said, yes, Del, I used to get them, then got some boxing training. The best fun was using that in my dreams, and they stopped. Geoloff said, pro tip, just remember when using a Big Bertha or another top flight style driver in the privacy of your own home and people drop in unannounced, be the ball, Danny, be the ball. Caddyshack. Be the ball, Danny, be the ball. You've got to be the ball. Alex said, take care, God bless, see you soon, Deb J. Shannon said, it won't happen overnight, but it will happen. George said, I'm going to learn how to smoke signal. Kai said, my last normal dream was about a truck I sold, met the guy driving it, tried to buy it from him. Shannon said, pro tip, I thought, I'm not reading it. Stu said, my point, instead of my punches missing or falling short, they went straight through the skull. Ooh. Stu said, good on you, Tim, you're a champ. Kai said, I made a 4-foot quadruple braided weighted sling string today. Wow, that's a mouthful. Hope it was easier than me trying to say it. Del said, Mr. In-Between's Ray says, I don't answer questions. When asked one, my retort to cops, etc. now. Alex said, are you going to Rumble tonight? No, I don't have time. I've got to go pick granddaughter up, babysit. Oh, bring her up here with me. Give mum a little break, you know. Shannon said, it's Deb's fault, she's an enabler. Kai said, I literally say I tried telling yous, but, you know, so damn much. Flyby Stu, how you going? Nice to catch ya. Nice to see ya. Shannon said, that would be classed as a man trap. Alex said, we may need smoke signals if everything else goes out. I may get some pigeons. Kai said, I get that you're an a-hole, you'll die alone. I'm like, it'll be quiet though. George said, just give me a cheeseburger. I don't want it smashed long. Deb said, we all need to call a spade if the shoe fits. Then yes, I am, Shannon. Del said, landmines and punji sticks for outdoor security. Kai said, I'm going to double smash a burger later. Kai said, about to reheat some pizza right now. Alex said, I rarely used to exempt my exempt card. My resting bitch face was apparently enough to deter them from asking me to put one on. J1 said, it's Rissole Day today. Shannon said, of course, Hev didn't get it. She thinks the Statue of Liberty is a duck. I used to when I didn't have my glasses. Kai said, Hev's an innocent. Geoloff said, try ripping the bells off the unwelcome batsman. Pitch him one wicked googly to clear the plate. Okay, that went... Whew. Shannon said, Hev's giggle sounds like a sound effect for a submarine sonar radar. Oh, dear. You're going to make me cry in a minute from laughing. Kai said, I'm almost surprised Hev does say we're naughty rather than rude. Del said, bleeding out neither quick nor painless, lol. Okay, it's jumped again. Oh, there we go. It's not too far this time. George said, a googly hitting your balls is painful. I'm sure it is. Deb said, reversing. Kai said, halfway. Alex said, no, Hev, it's like another Anita Pissaquick Sofa King. Okay.
Shannon tipped $1. Pro tip is another BAME for a male porn star. Thank you, Robot Man.
On you, Shannon. That was one of the ones I didn't read out. Kai said, we tarred Ed. Deb said, Hev does need to say fun and need us to say fun and it's missing. Kai said, I could be Major as Burns. Alex said, yeah, maybe it's the shadows in your curls, Hev. Yep. Deb said 11:10 a.m. Adelaide, South Australia, not moist. D. Lee's laughing. Shannon said, I bet Tony likes the shaking hands, Kai, when life... Oh, my God, Shannon. I just got what you meant. Deb said, Hev, oh, my God, you don't need help being funny. No, I don't think I do, but you're trying. Alex is Shannon. And then laughing. Kai said, Shannon, she does. Stu said, love a smash burger, but all we get are nothing burgers. Deb's laughing. Kai, I'm not going to read that out loud. Gerloff said, what's about... I don't know what that is. I'm not reading that one out loud too, just in case that's rude too. Sorry. Sorry, Gerloff. Now I'm thinking every comment's rude because they go over my head. I don't know. Right? So now I'm looking at every comment like it's rude. I said, I'll be cooking above a gas vent, though. Stu said they need to call cricket protectors boxes in the old days that have stopped the loss of breath. Is that rude or not? I don't even know what to say anymore. Alex said, always a brilliant laugh in these chats with so much depressing news of today's world, yes. Shannon said, that wasn't even rude and cost me $1 US. Not happy, Hev. Not happy, Jan. Oh, dear God, I'm going to have tears coming out my eyes in a minute. No, don't use that for your eyes after you've used it for your nose, for God's sake. Okay. Deb said, that's even funnier, Shannon, in American money. Dealey said, you got that right, Alex. Yeah, Shannon's lemon is good for fish. Dell said, need gangs of far-right kangaroos to start to taking the streets back in Dr. Martin's boots. Yes. Okay. Deb said, we are traumatising Hev. Yes, you are. It's not that I haven't heard the shit before, right? But it's just that, like, I don't want to read it out. Don't make me read that out. Anyway, guys, with that, I'm going to go. I've got to go and blow my nose, and I've got to go and pick my granddaughter up, and what else do I have to do? Do the laundry, make dinner, all that shit. Anyway, while it's freezing cold, keep the fire going, go and get more wood from out the front. I'm probably dirty because that's all I've been doing for days is getting wood. I only put this on yesterday, actually. I washed it. Flyby Stu said I'll be rewatching tomorrow. Got my mum and dad's grave to sort out this morning. Needs turfing to tidy up. Oh, God love you, Flyby. And Deb has tears coming out. And Alex said, great live, Heaven, everyone. Thank you so much for always making it amazing. Have a wonderful day with your granddaughter, Hev. Love and God bless to you all. Shannon said, Hev's okay with maiming home invaders, but a naughty joke? No. Yeah. Is there a problem with that? Del said 3 a.m. London Stan, adieu, mon ami. Dealey said, so much love and many hugs to everyone right here. Deb said, Hev's extra funny when you're double speed. It would be, especially when I'm trying to speed through it to go. Deb said, much love, Hev and Hev. It's okay. Much love, everyone. Love yous all. Have a good one. And I'll be back in 2 days. Okay, bye.